Hello and welcome to Chinese Novel Audiobook. Explore our playlist for more captivating novels, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Now, let's dive into today's story. Chapter 81. I said it was a special effect, do you believe it? Yun Miao was concentrating on singing and did not notice the appearance of the live broadcast ball. Naturally, she did not know that the netizens in the live broadcast room had already engraved her appearance at the moment in their hearts. The ethereal singing voice rang out over the vast ocean. Under the gentle soothing power of the spirit, it seemed that even the waves that were rising and falling against the rocks had become gentler. Feng Chengyuan's furrowed brows slowly relaxed, and Yun Miao could feel the violent mental fluctuations emanating from him slowly calming down. It seems that my comfort is useful. After Yun Miao discovered this, she worked even harder. After all, she was already on the sea, and if her mental strength ran out, she could just jump into the water and rest for a while and then she would be able to continue sailing again. It couldn't be better. After singing Big Fish, Yun Miao was just about to sing the next song, but suddenly he noticed something out of the corner of his eye. Yun Miao immediately turned his head to look and suddenly felt unwell. It's a live ball. It's over, how could I forget about live streaming? Yun Miao quickly opened the live broadcast interface of the optical brain. As expected, he had never closed the live broadcast room, so the live broadcast ball was always following him. It was all because the things that happened on the boat before were too thrilling, which made her forget that she was still broadcasting live. Now, the secret that she had kept with great difficulty was suddenly exposed in front of everyone. Just thinking about this, Yun Miao felt as if his eyes were darkening. Oh my god, what should I do? In the live broadcast room, the audience came back to their senses from the beautiful singing, and when they saw Yun Miao discover the live broadcast ball, they immediately started to shout and post comments. Ah, host, look at me. From today on, I am your most loyal fan. Closing square bracket. Is the anchor really a mermaid? Oh my god. Is she the legendary mermaid? Closing square bracket. I want to see big tail, bah. Question mark, question mark. The live broadcast room was boiling with excitement, and the comments selected by the system were all filled with the excitement and shock of netizens. Yun Miao, if I say everything is a special effect, would you believe me? Yun Miao laughed dryly and tried to save himself. Netizens immediately responded with barrages of comments. I believe whatever the anchor says, so can you let me see the mermaid tail? Closing square bracket. What are you thinking about? How can the host show you the mermaid tail so easily? Whispering, can the host show it to me in private? You bunch of trash, draw your swords. From today on, we are rivals in love. Closing square bracket. Looking at the netizens' replies, Yun Miao felt so miserable that he could not even cry. It's over, it's over. Maybe there is already a laboratory waiting for me. The future is dark. Yun Miao was in a state of confusion and didn't care whether they believed it or not. He quickly operated on the computer and the live broadcast room instantly went black. Netizens. Oh my god, why does the show end so suddenly? Netizens were caught off guard as Yun Miao suddenly disappeared. Faced with the pitch-black live broadcast interface, everyone let out a wail almost at the same time. Don't turn it off. However, the live broadcast room had been closed, and no matter how loudly they howled, they could not convey their resentment to Yun Miao's ears. The excited netizens could no longer see the legendary mermaids, and could not express their longing for mermaids, so they could only turn to Xingbo and start swiping through the hot search terms about mermaids to express their excitement. As a result, on that day, countless live broadcast rooms that were preparing to rush to the top of the list not only saw their popularity drop a lot, but they were also severely suppressed by a previously unknown live broadcast room. Some anchors who had originally tried their best to get on the Xingbo hot search to become famous and increase their popularity could not even make it into the top 10 hot searches, because the top 10 hot searches were almost all about mermaids. The only hot search term that has nothing to do with mermaids is the previous appearance of the Zerg. However, when you click on it, you will find that it is actually related to the anchor named Yun Miao. Of course, the outraged netizens didn't care what those people thought, they just wanted to find a place to express their excitement, so the entry about mermaids has been at the top of the Starblog hot search list, all thanks to those interstellar netizens. The speed at which news on the Star Network spreads can be seen from the fact that once the news about the mermaid appeared, in just 10 minutes, even planets in remote starfields that had just been connected to the internet received the news. All the interstellar citizens who received the news were shocked. That was the legendary mermaid, and now she had reappeared. It was real. All of a sudden, everyone started searching for all the information about Yun Miao on the Star Internet. However, there was very little information about Yun Miao on the Star Internet, so even if they wanted to find it, it would take some effort. At the same time, the top leaders of the Interstellar Federation also received news of the appearance of mermaids. At first no one believed that this matter was true. However, when the people below submitted the footage shot by Yun Miao's live broadcast room and brought up the relationship between Yun Miao and Feng Chengyuan, the top management finally believed the authenticity of the matter. However, rather than saying that they believe Yun Miao is a mermaid, it is better to say that they believe more in Feng Chengyuan's identity. If she is related to him, regardless of whether this matter is true or not, it is worthy of their attention and they will take this matter seriously. Yun Miao had no idea what was happening in the outside world. After hurriedly turning off the live broadcast, she was still upset that her identity had been exposed. But the depressed mood did not last long, because there was still Feng Chengyuan waiting for him to save. After calming down, Yun Miao began to use her singing to mobilize her mental strength to comfort Feng Chengyuan. With her help, Feng Chengyuan's condition became better and better. This went on for nearly an hour before Feng Chengyuan's mental strength was barely stabilized. The 7 orifices that had been bleeding no longer bled. Although his face looked very pale, at least his breathing had become steady. Call. After confirming Feng Chengyuan's condition, Yun Miao breathed a sigh of relief, then lay down on the edge of the reef, too lazy to move. I'm so tired. It was the first time for her to use her mental power for such a long time, and she was trying to appease someone whose mental power level was several levels higher than hers. The difficulty of this was simply hell level. During this period, she jumped into the water to rest several times because she had consumed too much mental energy. She finally persevered and now she can finally have a good rest. After Yun Miao lay on the reef and gasped for a while, he finally had the strength to stand up, but he felt a sense of weakness, which was obviously a reaction to excessive mental energy consumption. It seems that I still need to go into the water to recuperate. Yun Miao glanced at Feng Chengyuan who was still lying motionless on the reef, stretched out his hand again to make sure that the other party was still breathing, then leaned over with confidence, used his tail to push against the reef for leverage, and then leapt into the sea. PFF'd. Water splashed everywhere, and a few drops of cold seawater splashed onto Feng Chengyuan's face, causing Feng Chengyuan, who had his eyes closed, to twitch his brows slightly, and then he slowly opened his eyes. Chapter 82 Discovery. Am I dead? Feng Chengyuan opened his eyes with difficulty, and what he saw was a blue sky. The surroundings were so quiet that not a single human voice could be heard. He had just woken up and his head was still buzzing, but there was no such piercing pain as before. His previous memories quickly returned, and he also remembered that he chose to die at the bottom of the sea in order to reduce the damage because he could not stop the mental turmoil. A gust of sea breeze blew, and Feng Chengyuan smelled the fishy and salty taste. He was stunned for a moment before he realized that he should still be alive. But what is the situation now? Didn't I jump into the sea? How did I survive? And the mental turmoil seemed to have stopped. Feng Chengyuan could feel that his physical condition was much better than before, and this was what he couldn't understand. Wow! Suddenly, he heard a sound of water. Feng Chengyuan looked in the direction of the sound and saw a figure emerging from the water. Is her? Feng Chengyuan's heart moved slightly, and he looked at Yun Miao who was soaking in the water in surprise. How did she get in the water? Feng Chengyuan watched Yun Miao floating in the water and thought she was drowning. He tried hard to move and tried to rescue her to shore. However, he found himself like being nailed to a reef and couldn't even turn over. What should I do? Should I just watch Yun Miao drown? Just when Feng Chengyuan was getting anxious and trying hard to make a sound to call Yun Miao, he suddenly widened his eyes and looked at Yun Miao in disbelief. Yun Miao, who was originally floating in the water, suddenly leaned back and sank directly into the water. Then a silver-blue fish tail emerged from the water, splashed on the water surface, and disappeared into the water again. Feng Chengyuan looked at the scene in disbelief, his face showing an unprecedented shock. What did he just see? Feng Chengyuan wondered if he was dazzled, but when he saw Yun Miao swinging his tail in the water for the second time, he had to accept the reality of what he saw. Yun Miao is actually a mermaid. This is incredible. Feng Chengyuan suddenly thought of something he had been doubting about before, and now thinking back on it, everything seemed to make sense. Yun Miao's mental strength is low, but singing can calm her turbulent mental strength, which may have a lot to do with the fact that she is a mermaid. While he was thinking, Yun Miao suddenly popped up at the place closest to the reef. Under the sunlight, the silver wrinkles on Yun Miao's forehead were faintly visible, which made the delicate face even more beautiful. At first glance, it was as if you saw a goddess and you couldn't take your eyes off her. Admiral, are you awake? Yun Miao had originally been planning to come back to check on Feng Chengyuan, but he didn't expect to meet Feng Chengyuan's deep eyes as soon as he got closer. He felt a little nervous and guilty for a moment, but when he thought that his secret was now known to almost the entire galaxy, there was no need to continue hiding it in front of Feng Chengyuan. So Yun Miao simply gave up and exposed himself without any struggle. She supported herself on the reef with both hands, slapped the sea water with her tail, and then easily climbed onto the reef. After sitting down, Yun Miao controlled the fish tail to turn back into legs. Yun Miao completed the entire process in front of Feng Chengyuan, without any intention of hiding. However, Feng Chengyuan was slightly surprised by Yun Miao's calm attitude. You are a mermaid. Feng Chengyuan pondered for a moment, then asked a question to which he already had the answer. He asked this simply because he wanted to get confirmation. Yun Miao nodded and blinked. A drop of water on her long eyelashes slid down her fair and delicate cheek as she blinked, giving people an inexplicable visual sense of a beautiful woman shedding tears. Feng Chengyuan's eyes darkened, but his face remained expressionless. I am a mermaid. I'm sorry I kept it a secret from you before. Yun Miao apologized obediently and with a very sincere attitude. Feng Chengyuan was puzzled. Why do you want to apologize to me? It's only right for you to hide this secret from me, but why don't you want to hide it now? After a pause, Feng Chengyuan did not wait for Yun Miao to answer and continued. You'd better not let other people know about this, otherwise it will cause a lot of trouble. Feng Chengyuan could already imagine what kind of uproar it would cause if the identity of the Yun Miao mermaid tribe were exposed one day. Coming back to his senses from his imagination, Feng Chengyuan did not get Yun Miao's answer. He could not help but look at Yun Miao in confusion, and saw that she was looking at him with a conflicted look on her face, and the expression on her face looked very strange. What happened? Feng Chengyuan asked. Yun Miao laughed dryly twice, and gently twirled the hair that fell in front of her body with her fingers, and said awkwardly, well, it seems a little late. What do you mean? Yun Miao pointed to the live broadcast ball on the reef and muttered, my mermaid form was accidentally seen by all the viewers in the live broadcast room. Feng Chengyuan, Admiral, since I saved you, can I ask you for a favor? Yun Miao didn't know the complicated feelings Feng Chengyuan was having at the moment, so he stepped forward and put his hands together and begged Feng Chengyuan, General, can you help me? Feng Chengyuan was silent for a moment, then asked, what do you want me to help you with? His tone was calm, as if he had no emotions at all, but only he knew that just a moment ago, his heartbeat inexplicably accelerated. Although he quickly controlled his emotions, that feeling was unforgettable for him. Almost everyone knows that I am a mermaid now. Someone will definitely come to capture me and study me. You are an admiral, can you help me prevent those people from capturing me? The worse Yun Miao had behaved before, the more panicked he felt at this moment. The secret has been exposed and cannot be undone. The only preparation she can make now is to find a backer that no one can touch. After all, Feng Chengyuan is the general of the 7th Legion. If he has his protection, even if others want to arrest him, they have to think twice beforehand, right? Yun Miao's pair of watery eyes stared at Feng Chengyuan. Her eyes were clear and innocent. She looked inexplicably adorable with her hands clasped in prayer. Even though Feng Chengyuan considered himself to be heartless, he couldn't help but begin to waver when he saw Yun Miao's appearance. Cough cough. Feng Chengyuan coughed twice, as if he was trying to hide something. Even his gaze shifted slightly without leaving a trace, and he no longer looked at Yun Miao's face. Why should I help you? Feng Chengyuan spoke in a feigned indifference. Yun Miao was stunned. How could this person say such cold words with his 36.5-degree mouth? Chapter 83 Still alive. Looking at Yun Miao's surprised expression and her eyes wide open, a smile flashed across Feng Chengyuan's eyes, but it quickly disappeared. Why should I help you? Feng Chengyuan suppressed the smile in his heart and looked at Yun Miao with serious eyes, as if he was weighing the pros and cons. However, if you look closely, you will find that in fact, in those cold eyes, there is a warmth that even he himself has not noticed. That's right, the reason he said that was just to tease Yun Miao. Feng Chengyuan didn't know why he suddenly had such a bad idea, but looking at Yun Miao's dazed and somewhat helpless look, he felt his mood brighten up. Yun Miao didn't know the evil intentions in Feng Chengyuan's heart. She thought that what Feng Chengyuan said meant that he really didn't want to help her, and she suddenly became a little anxious. My Lord Admiral, I just saved your life. Feng Chengyuan didn't say anything, but just looked at Yun Miao quietly. Yun Miao was silent for a moment, then he said in a compromising tone, if the Admiral can help me solve all the troubles against me, I can also help the Admiral with one thing. Feng Chengyuan raised his eyebrows when he heard this, and asked with interest, what can you do for me? Yun Miao bit her lips lightly with her pearly teeth, then took a deep breath and said, I can help the Admiral solve the problem of mental turmoil. Feng Chengyuan's heart tightened, and suddenly a thought came to his mind. Sure enough, the abnormalities I felt several times before were all because of her. Since Yun Miao had already spoken out, he felt that there was no need to hide it any further, so he continued, the mermaids' songs have the ability to calm violent mental riots. You almost had a mental riot before, and it was me who calmed you down with my song. Being reminded by Yun Miao, Feng Chengyuan also remembered that when he was in the Feng family's old house before, he used his mental power to annihilate Feng Yaoyao's spiritual sea, which almost caused his mental power to revolt. I originally thought that I would have to tough it out, but later when I regained consciousness, I discovered that the turmoil in my mental power had calmed down on its own. He had already suspected Yun Miao at that time, but he had never found any evidence. He didn't expect that Yun Miao would admit it himself now. Seeing Feng Chengyuan didn't say anything, Yun Miao became more and more uneasy. Aren't the conditions I offer attractive enough? But this is the only condition he can use to make a deal with Feng Chengyuan now. What do you think, Admiral? Yun Miao looked at Feng Chengyuan somewhat nervously, his eyes full of expectation, as if he was afraid that Feng Chengyuan would reject him. Feng Chengyuan looked at Yun Miao's nervous look and felt amused, but he still kept a straight face and pretended to be serious. He thought for a moment before saying, it's not impossible, but in addition to this, you have to agree to a few of my requests. Yun Miao was stunned. What? More requests? Yun Miao wanted to say, don't go too far, but then she changed her mind and realized that she still had to rely on him to ensure her own safety, so she could only shut her mouth silently, and tears of cowardice shed in her heart. Who made me have nothing now? Woohoo! It's so pitiful. You said. Yun Miao spoke with tears in her heart and felt that the little guy in her heart was starting to bite the handkerchief. Seeing Yun Miao's pitiful appearance, Feng Chengyuan couldn't bear to tease her anymore, so he said bluntly, since you want me to help you solve those troubles, you can't refuse some of my arrangements in the future, such as needing to know your whereabouts at any time, or leaving a positioning chip on your optical brain, etc. Yun Miao hesitated a little when he heard this, but finally nodded in agreement. These are all acceptable. As for things like positioning chips, they are also for the sake of one's own safety. Yun Miao feels that there is nothing unacceptable. Okay, I have no objection. Feng Chengyuan extended his hand, and Yun Miao quickly reached out to high-five him. However, seeing Feng Chengyuan's strange expression, Yun Miao hesitated and asked, "What's wrong? Isn't high-five a sign of successful cooperation?" "Feng Chengyuan, I want you to help me up first." He didn't have much strength at the moment, so it was obviously impossible for him to sit up by himself. Yun Miao blushed when she heard that. She didn't expect that she had misunderstood. So she quickly changed her position and went forward to help Feng Chengyuan sit up. After sitting down against the reef, Feng Chengyuan rested for a long time before he regained some strength. He looked around and found that they should be on an unnamed island on the sea. However, looking around, there was no trace of the cruise ship, and it was obvious that they had no idea how far away it was. "Where are we?" Feng Chengyuan asked. Yun Miao thought about it and told Feng Chengyuan the approximate location. Only then did Feng Chengyuan realize that they were indeed very far away from the previous location of the cruise ship. "What do we do now?" Yun Miao asked. Feng Chengyuan hesitated for a moment and said, "It's best to leave this place now. Since you accidentally exposed your identity before, it's best not to let anyone know where you are." As he said this, Feng Chengyuan was constantly thinking about how to ensure Yun Miao's safety. However, there was no perfect solution for the time being, so he could only contact Butler Wu and leave here first. Thinking of this, Feng Chengyuan turned on his light computer and immediately called Butler Wu. The communication was quickly connected on the other side. Because Feng Chengyuan was in sharing mode, when the light screen appeared in front of them, Feng Chengyuan and Yun Miao immediately saw the extremely excited face of Butler Wu. "Admiral, it's great that you are still alive." Butler Wu's face was filled with an unprecedented excitement, and his eyes were red, as if he had been crying before. Feng Chengyuan knew that he must have thought he was dead, so it was normal for him to have such a reaction. However, this was not the time to explain, so Feng Chengyuan directly stated his request in a concise manner. "I have sent you my coordinates. Find a way to pick us up immediately. Don't let anyone know about this." Feng Chengyuan spoke seriously, and Butler Wu immediately understood the seriousness of the matter. Although he was a little puzzled as to what the unspeakable secret was, he still agreed very seriously. At this moment, Butler Wu was still on the cruise ship. After the Zerg attack, Mr. Feng's birthday party could not go on. Not only that, the Feng family would have to face rounds of inspections. Those guests who were injured in the accident would certainly claim compensation from the Feng family. It was extremely unlucky that a good banquet turned out like this. Chapter 84. I can't keep this friend anymore. The cruise ship was heading towards the port. During this time, the guests had contacted their own people and sent a hovercraft to pick them up. In fact, there are not many passengers left on the cruise ship, but there are still many Zerg corpses on the cruise ship. These need to be handed over to the police for handling, and the reasons for the appearance of the Zerg on the cruise ship must also be investigated. In short, there are still a lot of follow-up troubles. The Feng family is now busy and anxious. After knowing the reason why Feng Chengyuan jumped into the sea, they not only did not think of sending people to look for him, but instead blamed Feng Chengyuan for choosing to die at this time. Those cold faces made Butler Wu very angry. Therefore, after receiving the communication from Feng Chengyuan, Butler Wu did not tell this matter. Instead, after arriving at the port, he quietly left the Feng family's team, and then quietly dispatched a hovercraft to pick up Feng Chengyuan and Yun Miao. Butler Wu originally wanted to leave quietly, but was eventually discovered by Zhang Zhou. Zhang Zhou was also very excited after learning that Feng Chengyuan was still alive. He originally thought that Feng Chengyuan had been buried at the bottom of the sea, and was extremely sad about the death of his friend. Unexpectedly, before he had recovered from his grief, he turned around and found out that Feng Chengyuan was still alive. Suddenly, the expression on his face was almost unable to hold back. "I also need to go." Zhang Zhou knew that Butler Wu was going to pick up Feng Chengyuan, so he immediately volunteered to go with him. Butler Wu was a little embarrassed, but in the end he couldn't persuade Zhang Zhou and took him along. Along the way, Zhang Zhou kept mumbling and scolding Feng Chengyuan. Butler Wu's mouth twitched when he heard it, and he began to regret it in his heart. Why did he bring him along? According to the coordinates given by Feng Chengyuan, the airship arrived at the island where Yun Miao and Feng Chengyuan were in a short time, and quickly found the two people who were resting on the beach of the island. Zhang Zhou controlled the airship to land, and as soon as the door opened, he rushed out impatiently. When he arrived in front of Feng Chengyuan, he first hugged him tightly, then let him go before Feng Chengyuan refused. Then, his expression changed immediately as if turning over a book, and he grabbed Feng Chengyuan's collar directly, with a ferocious expression as if he wanted to eat him. Do you really want to die? You actually jumped into the sea. Are you crazy? Zhang Zhou was furious when he thought of Feng Chengyuan's previous decision. He really thought that Feng Chengyuan had been buried at the bottom of the sea. He even almost had a quarrel with the Feng family because of their attitude. If it weren't for Butler Wu who kept stopping him, he didn't know what he would have done. He was so sad, but when he turned around he heard that this guy was still alive. Zhang Zhou suddenly felt that all the tears he had shed before were in vain. I am really happy, but I am also really angry. So now he had to ask Feng Chengyuan to give him an explanation. Feng Chengyuan was not angry even though his collar was pulled. He just reached out and pinched Zhang Zhou's wrist, squeezing it gently. Zhang Zhou felt his palm go numb for a moment, and then he unconsciously let go of his hand. Talk nicely and don't use your hands. Feng Chengyuan spoke in a light tone, but a slight smile unconsciously appeared at the corner of his lips. Feng Chengyuan felt Zhang Zhou's worry, and was very touched to have such a friend who truly cared about him, but he still despised him when he should. Zhang Zhou was choked. I don't want this friend anymore. Yun Miao watched the interaction between the two with some surprise in his eyes. I didn't expect Feng Chengyuan also had a friend who was so concerned about him, but the way they got along was really hard to describe. Yun Miao also learned about Zhang Zhou's identity from Butler Wu. When he found out that the other party was a big shot in medical research, he no longer had the intention of standing aside and watching the show. He became alert all of a sudden. Whatever you fear will come true. I was afraid of being caught and researched before, but I didn't expect that someone would come and take charge of the laboratory so soon. Is it necessary to do it at such a fast speed? Miss Yun, what's wrong with you? Seeing the look on Yun Miao's face, Butler Wu asked with some confusion. When Butler Wu and Zhang Zhou were on the cruise ship, they were so preoccupied with Feng Chengyuan's affairs that they had no mood to care about other things. Naturally, they didn't know about the explosive news on Starnet, let alone the identity of Yun Miao's mermaid. That's why Butler Wu was so calm when facing Yun Miao. Yun Miao heard this and laughed dryly twice without saying anything. Feng Chengyuan looked at Yun Miao and said calmly, "Don't worry, he won't do anything to you." This is Feng Chengyuan's assurance to Yun Miao, and also his trust in his friend Zhang Zhou. Yun Miao breathed a sigh of relief when he heard this, but Zhang Zhou and Butler Wu looked confused and didn't understand what Feng Chengyuan meant. What happened? Zhang Zhou asked. Feng Chengyuan didn't explain, but just asked him to go to Star Network to see if there was any news. Zhang Zhou didn't understand what was going on, so he opened the Star Network and started checking. Feng Chengyuan sat back on the wheelchair brought by Butler Wu. The previous wheelchair had sunk into the sea. This wheelchair was only found temporarily. Apart from being able to drive intelligently, it had no other functions. But he couldn't care less now. After Feng Chengyuan sat on the wheelchair, he called Yun Miao to get on the airship together. As soon as he got on the airship, he heard a cry of surprise from behind him. Then Zhang Zhou, who had been walking at the end, immediately rushed forward and stared at Yun Miao with excitement. You are a mermaid. Are you really a mermaid? This is the first time I have seen a living mermaid. Let me study it. No, let me take a look. Zhang Zhou's eyes lit up, and the smile on his lips almost reached his ears. If Feng Chengyuan hadn't stopped him, he would have scared Yun Miao to death. Calm down or you'll be thrown onto the island. Feng Chengyuan glared at Zhang Zhou, and it really worked. Zhang Zhou reluctantly took a step back, but he muttered and complained, "You will lose me as a friend one day, do you believe it?" Feng Chengyuan was speechless. Zhang Zhou turned and looked at Yun Miao with a smile. That smile made Yun Miao's scalp tingle. He moved involuntarily behind Feng Chengyuan. However, by doing so, he seemed to be afraid of him, so he immediately raised his head and glared at Zhang Zhou with what he thought was a fierce look. Feng Chengyuan saw Yun Miao's reaction. His eyes moved between the two of them, his face suddenly darkened, and he felt inexplicably unhappy. Sit down. Feng Chengyuan pointed to the seat next to him and said to Yun Miao in a somewhat stiff tone. After Yun Miao sat down, he pointed to the seat on the other side and said to Zhang Zhou, "You sit over there." When Zhang Zhou turned around and sat in the position he pointed to, Feng Chengyuan moved his wheelchair imperceptibly. After making sure that Yun Miao could not be seen directly from Zhang Zhou's direction, he relaxed with satisfaction. Chapter 85. The situation is getting better. After Zhang Zhou sat down, he couldn't see Yun Miao, so he looked left and right to take a closer look at Yun Miao. However, after being glared at by Feng Chengyuan, he could only look away in disappointment. "Tch, so stingy." Zhang Zhou muttered something, as if he was very unconvinced, but when he saw Feng Chengyuan looking at him, he laughed dryly twice and pretended to be calm, as if he didn't say what he said just now. Feng Chengyuan already knew Zhang Zhou's character very well, so he naturally wouldn't get angry at some of his actions, but he still gave him a reminder. "You'd better put away your little thoughts. She is not someone you can study." Feng Chengyuan's tone was very cold. Zhang Zhou, who was familiar with him, naturally understood how serious he was when he said this. Okay, you have the final say." Zhang Zhou spread his hands. Although he felt a little sorry, it was not necessary to study it. After hearing Feng Chengyuan's words, Yun Miao felt a little more relaxed. With him speaking, she should be able to feel more at ease. Because Feng Chengyuan was blocking him, Yun Miao did not have to face Zhang Zhou's fiery and inquiring gaze directly. As for Butler Wu, although he was also looking at him with surprise in his eyes, he was quite restrained and did not make Yun Miao feel any discomfort. Therefore, after making sure that he was not in any danger, Yun Miao stopped caring about other things and turned on his light brain and started checking the news on the Star Network. She had accidentally exposed her identity before. One could guess without thinking that it must have caused quite a stir on Starnet. Yun Miao just wanted to see what the netizens on Starnet thought about it. If most of the remarks are unfavorable or threatening to him, then Yun Miao would have to consider whether Feng Chengyuan can completely protect him and whether he should find a way out in advance. After opening Starnet, Yun Miao immediately received the hot search push on Starnet. After clicking it, the first hot search was about himself. Shock! The legendary mermaid appeared. After Yun Miao clicked it, the first thing he saw was the image of himself sitting on a reef and singing, and he was stunned for a moment. It was the first time for her to see her own image from the perspective of a bystander. Even she herself couldn't help but sigh that she was actually quite beautiful in the mermaid form. Thinking of this, Yun Miao couldn't help but blush for a second because of his own narcissism, then he calmed down and began to check the comments from netizens. After flipping through the pages, Yun Miao found that almost all of them were words of praise for himself, which made him feel a little unreal. Are these people really talking about themselves? I feel inexplicably ashamed. Yun Miao suppressed the embarrassment and shyness in his heart and searched for a long time before finally finding what he wanted to see. Amidst the words of praise, Yun Miao also saw some discordant messages. Haven't the mermaids disappeared for hundreds of years? Why did they suddenly reappear? Is there some conspiracy? Closing square bracket. The appearance of the mermaids, does it mean that there are other mermaids hiding in human society? If we can study the differences between them and humans, can we identify other mermaids hiding in human society? Closing square bracket. Isn't there anyone who cares about who the person she rescued is? Closing square bracket. Who cares about other people? I just want to know why the mermaids suddenly disappeared for hundreds of years and suddenly appeared again. Closing square bracket. I hope the research institute can give an inspection result. Closing square bracket. Question mark, comma, question mark. Yun Miao looked at those who said they wanted to capture him and study him, and suddenly felt a chill rising from the soles of his feet to the top of his head. "What happened to you?" Just when Yun Miao felt that she was surrounded by danger and wished she could jump off the airship to escape, Feng Chengyuan's voice came to her ears, which immediately pulled her back from the suffocating feeling. "Fine." Yun Miao looked up and smiled at Feng Chengyuan, but the smile looked a little weak. Feng Chengyuan glanced at the light screen that she had not yet turned off. Although he could not see what was inside, he was able to guess what Yun Miao had just seen that caused her to show such deep affection. Feng Chengyuan did not try to comfort her, but simply said, "Don't pay too much attention to what is said on the Star Network." Yun Miao nodded obediently, then turned off the light screen. For the rest of the journey, Yun Miao did not open the Star Network, but watched Zhang Zhou examine Feng Chengyuan's body. Zhang Zhou was excited about finally being able to touch Feng Chengyuan's body, and his satisfied expression made Yun Miao couldn't help laughing. After the examination, Zhang Zhou gave the results. Feng Chengyuan's current condition is much better than before, especially the state of his spiritual sea, which has also undergone tremendous changes. If the doctor had told Feng Chengyuan before that he could not use his mental power at will, otherwise his mental power might erupt at any time, then now Feng Chengyuan's spiritual sea seemed to have been reinforced, and he could finally use a little bit of his mental power. This is good news, which means Feng Chengyuan's condition is getting better. Butler Wu was almost crying with joy, but Feng Chengyuan seemed very calm about it. How could he not be calm? After all, Yun Miao had already promised him, right? For some reason, Feng Chengyuan had an inexplicable sense of trust in what Yun Miao said. When Yun Miao said that he could soothe his spiritual sea, he really believed it. Thinking about this now, Feng Chengyuan himself found it a little unbelievable. The airship was moving very fast, and before we knew it we were back at the port. The Feng family's cruise ship has stopped at a dedicated location. A cordon has been set up around it, and there are many people in police uniforms on guard nearby. It is obvious that someone has already boarded the ship and started checking. The Feng family disappeared, and after Feng Chengyuan came back, he didn't think of contacting the Feng family. He just quietly glanced in the direction of the cruise ship and directly controlled the wheelchair to go in another direction. When Butler Wu was on the airship, he had already moved the hovercraft to the dock and was waiting, so when the few people got off the airship, they directly got on their own hovercraft and left Peng City. Zhang Zhou also followed along the way. After riding in the hovercraft for half an hour, they finally returned to the general's mansion on Yunping Mountain. Yun Miao got out of the car and looked at the gate of the general's mansion. It was obviously not many days since he left, but now he inexplicably felt as if he was in another world. Finally home. Yun Miao sighed, and the moment he walked through the gate, he felt a sense of belonging in his heart. Although Feng Chengyuan still had many questions to ask Yun Miao, after seeing the fatigue on Yun Miao's face, he hesitated for a while and finally told Yun Miao to have a good rest and to talk about anything after she had rested. Yun Miao understood Feng Chengyuan's good intentions and naturally would not refuse. After saying goodbye to Feng Chengyuan, he went straight back to his room. After watching Yun Miao's figure disappear from his sight, Feng Chengyuan turned his gaze to Zhang Zhou. "I know what you want to ask, just follow me." Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel. Chapter 86. This is my promise to her. Feng Chengyuan took Zhang Zhou directly to his study. After Butler Wu brought them some drinks, he left the study and closed the door. "Go ahead." Feng Chengyuan spoke directly. Zhang Zhou changed his previous playful look, sat on the sofa beside him, and then asked, "What are you going to do about your little wife?" Before, on the airship, not only Yun Miao searched for reports on the Star Network, but Zhang Zhou also read them. Therefore, he was convinced that Yun Miao was a mermaid. However, it was precisely because of this belief that Zhang Zhou's mood was so complicated, especially when he looked at Feng Chengyuan, the complex emotions in his eyes reached its peak. What does the emergence of the mermaids mean? No one knows better than those who have always been at the top of the pyramid. The reason why the mermaids and humans became enemies was not only because both men and women were extremely beautiful, which attracted the covetousness of some people, but legend has it that there was another reason. It is because of the talent of the mermaids that human mental strength can always be in a very stable state, which makes some people have thoughts that they shouldn't have. They begin to secretly capture mermaids for experiments, hoping to unravel the secret. As a result, the matter was exposed, which eventually triggered a war between the two tribes. Later, the mermaids inevitably went to extinction, and humans were unable to stop it. When the mermaids completely disappeared from human history, humans also completely lost the channel to calm their mental turmoil. Although hundreds of years have passed, there are still people who know the truth about the disappearance of mermaids. It is even possible that those people still have extravagant hopes for mermaids in their hearts. This kind of extravagant hope was probably just a ridiculous idea before, but when Yun Miao, a mermaid, appeared, I am afraid that the dark thoughts in those people's hearts will emerge again. I won't let anyone get against her, that's my promise to her. Feng Chengyuan said firmly. Zhang Zhou looked at Feng Chengyuan's eyes, was silent for a moment, and suddenly sighed and said in a strange tone, "It is true that since ancient times, heroes have been unable to resist the temptation of beautiful women." As soon as he said this, Feng Chengyuan glared at him again. What nonsense! Zhang Zhou was not afraid either, and said with a smile, "I'm not talking nonsense. I think you have taken her to heart, otherwise why are you so worried about her safety? Forget about the promise you made to her. Who are you? You are Feng Chengyuan. Would you make a promise to someone casually?" Zhang Zhou was like a wise man who saw through everything. His words were well reasoned and made Feng Chengyuan speechless. Feng Chengyuan was stunned by Zhang Zhou's words. Is it really? Feng Chengyuan thought about it carefully and found that he couldn't even answer this question with certainty. Zhang Zhou couldn't help but snicker when he saw Feng Chengyuan was stunned. Over the years, it is rare to see Feng Chengyuan so hesitant and conflicted. Neither of them spoke for a while. Feng Chengyuan finally spoke up and said, "We are just a cooperative relationship, nothing else." Zhang Zhou was speechless when he heard this. Sure enough, this guy is still a tough guy. Okay, whatever you say is what it is, but you will suffer if you do this, so don't regret it later. Zhang Zhou was too lazy to care about Feng Chengyuan's love affairs. To him, women would only affect the speed of his research. What was the point of having them? Let's get back to the point. Do you have a definite solution? Believe it or not, it won't be long before someone comes knocking on your door. Feng Chengyuan frowned when he heard this. He knew that what Zhang Zhou said would definitely happen, and there would be endless troubles at that time, but he was not too worried about it. You want to snatch someone from me? Who do you think has such great ability? But now you. Zhang Zhou paused as soon as he finished speaking. He originally wanted to say that Feng Chengyuan was injured now, and those people would definitely make a big fuss about this matter. The biggest possibility would be to kick Feng Chengyuan out of that position. However, when he thought of Yun Miao's existence, his eyes suddenly lit up. Yes, maybe the injury was still a hidden danger before, but now there are mermaids, right? And wasn't the previous examination confirmed? Feng Chengyuan's condition has begun to improve, and maybe it won't be long before he can completely recover. The two were discussing in the study. On the other side, Yun Miao returned to the room and threw himself directly on the bed. She just lay on the soft bed, looking up at the ceiling, completely emptying her mind and not thinking about anything. Only in this way could she feel a little more relaxed. Perhaps because she had experienced too many things before, Yun Miao felt drowsy and wanted to sleep as soon as she relaxed. She did not insist and just closed her eyes and fell into a light sleep. Don't blame her for being careless, it's just because she believes Feng Chengyuan will not endanger her safety. Yun Miao slept until the evening and woke up soon after. Butler Wu knocked on the door and invited her downstairs for dinner. Yun Miao yawned, tidied himself up a bit, and then followed Butler Wu downstairs. When he arrived at the restaurant, he saw Feng Chengyuan and Zhang Zhou had already taken their seats, as if they were waiting for him, which made Yun Miao feel a little embarrassed. Walking to his seat and sitting down, Yun Miao glanced at Feng Chengyuan inconspicuously. Seeing that he looked normal, Yun Miao felt less embarrassed. However, as soon as he sat down, Yun Miao felt a very hot gaze falling on him. Yun Miao knew without even looking that the person in that line of sight must be Zhang Zhou. Sure enough, when Yun Miao raised his eyes, he saw Zhang Zhou giving him a meaningful smile, which made Yun Miao shudder. Could this guy still be plotting against me? Yun Miao was suspicious, and seeing that the other party was still staring at him, he imitated Feng Chengyuan's previous behavior and glared at him coldly. Unexpectedly, he did not scare the other party, but made him laugh instead. Ha, what a lovely mermaid. No wonder she could conquer Feng Chengyuan, a guy with a weird personality. Zhang Zhou was secretly complaining in his heart, and he had obviously determined that the relationship between Feng Chengyuan and Yun Miao was not simple. Feng Chengyuan raised his eyes and glanced at the two of them, then said just two words indifferently. Have a meal. As a result, the two people who were staring at each other immediately withdrew their gazes and began to eat quietly. Just when Yun Miao had eaten half of his meal, the optical computer communication system rang. Strange, who would send me a communication at this time? Yun Miao casually clicked on the call, but when he saw whose number it was, his face suddenly turned ugly. Who? Feng Chengyuan saw Yun Miao's expression and asked a question, which was rare. Zhang Zhou beside him also stopped eating and looked up at Yun Miao, as if waiting for her answer. Yun Miao did not hide it and said bluntly, it's the Yun family. Chapter 87 I'll be with you. When Yun Miao saw the communication request, the expression on her face became very ugly. She did not expect that someone from the Yun family would contact her at this time. What's it about? Yun Miao immediately had a bad guess in his mind. Feng Chengyuan and Zhang Zhou were both looking at Yun Miao, as if waiting for her to connect. Why don't you answer it? Zhang Zhou didn't understand the feud between Yun Miao and the Yun family, so he was a little confused when he saw her hesitating. Yun Miao paused, as if hesitating, but finally chose to connect the call. As soon as the call was connected, Yun Songcheng's half-body virtual projection appeared in front of Yun Miao. Miao Miao, how have you been lately? Yun Songcheng had a smile on his face, and his attitude became more amiable than before, just like a real loving father, which made Yun Miao open his eyes wide in surprise. Why don't you speak? Yun Songcheng didn't get Yun Miao's answer, so he asked again patiently. Yun Miao finally came back to his senses from the shock and said calmly, what do you want to talk to me about? Yun Songcheng was a little angry because of Yun Miao's coldness, and the expression on his face almost froze for a moment. You are my daughter. As a father, do you need a reason to care about your daughter? Yun Songcheng's words gave Yun Miao goosebumps all over her body. She knew what kind of person Yun Songcheng was. How could she believe that he really cared about her just because of what he said? If you have something to say, just tell me. I haven't had dinner yet. If you really care about me, don't let me go hungry. Yun Miao was not polite at all. He wanted to tell Yun Songcheng directly that if there was nothing else, he should just hang up and he didn't want to talk to him anymore. The smile on Yun Songcheng's face faded a little, obviously irritated by Yun Miao's attitude. After his expression changed several times, he finally tried to force out a smile. You haven't been home for a long time. Everyone in the family misses you very much. Why don't you come back tomorrow so that we can have a good family reunion? Yun Miao sneered when he heard this, and thought to himself, how could they miss him? There must be other reasons why he suddenly wants me to go back, but I'm afraid Yun Songcheng won't tell me now, right? I don't think so. I'm quite busy. Yun Miao refused. Yun Songcheng did not give up and continued to persuade her. What can you do? Come back. I just found some of your mother's things. I will give them to you when you come back. Yun Miao was stunned for a moment when he heard this and became a little hesitant. Although she didn't want to have any contact with anyone from the Yun family, these things were her mother's after all, so she still wanted to take a look. Then it's settled. Come back tomorrow and I'll ask the kitchen to cook your favorite dishes. Okay, that's it. Before Yun Miao could answer, Yun Songcheng had already made the decision. After saying that, Yun Songcheng quickly hung up the phone as if he was afraid that Yun Miao would refuse. The action was done in one smooth motion, leaving Yun Miao no chance to refuse. Looking at the call that had been hung up, Yun Miao couldn't help but laugh out loud. Sure enough, the Yun family is still the same, talking to themselves and being self-righteous. You look like you're reluctant. Zhang Zhou looked at Yun Miao's expression and asked in confusion. Because Yun Miao opened the sharing mode, he also saw the projection of Yun Songcheng just now. When Yun Miao was talking to Yun Songcheng, Zhang Zhou also whispered to Butler Wu about the relationship between Yun Miao and Yun Songcheng. That's why he felt strange at this moment, as Yun Miao didn't seem to have a very good relationship with his family. Yun Miao ignored Zhang Zhou and looked at Feng Chengyuan, asking, "General, do you think I should go back tomorrow?" Facing Yun Miao's question, Feng Chengyuan thought seriously for a moment and said, "If you want to go back, you can, but I will go with you." After these words were spoken, Yun Miao was completely stunned, while Zhang Zhou on the side was stroking his chin with an expression of, as expected, as if he knew Feng Chengyuan's decision very well. "Humph, you still say you don't care about me. Aren't you worried about Yun Miao going out alone?" Yun Miao looked at Feng Chengyuan in shock, but Feng Chengyuan looked indifferent. "What, you don't want to?" Feng Chengyuan glanced at Yun Miao indifferently. His expression did not change at all, but the words he said made Yun Miao have no intention of refusing. "No, no." Yun Miao shook his head repeatedly and hugged his thighs tightly. "It would be great if the admiral could go with me. That way I won't be afraid of anything." Feng Chengyuan was very satisfied with Yun Miao's understanding, and he immediately began to instruct Butler Wu about what preparations needed to be made for the visit to the Yun family tomorrow. Seeing how much Feng Chengyuan cared about her, Yun Miao felt as if something warm was flowing through his heart, making him feel warm and soothed. Next, the few of them continued to have their meal. After the meal, Butler Wu prepared a guest room for Zhang Zhou at his request, and he would not leave tonight. After dinner, Yun Miao did not go back to her room to rest. She thought that she had not taken care of her flower garden for some time and did not know how the plants in it were growing. So after dinner, Yun Miao took her small tools and went directly to the flower garden. Zhang Zhou was full of curiosity about Yun Miao. Although he could not study Yun Miao directly, it would be good for him to follow her and observe her. So after seeing Yun Miao go to the flower garden, Zhang Zhou followed her there. When Zhang Zhou saw Yun Miao busy in front of the flower bed, he was still observing with interest. However, when he approached the flower bed and saw the plants growing in it, he suddenly became uneasy. This is... Zhang Zhou walked forward in disbelief and looked at the plants in the flower bed. If he was not mistaken, these were all medicinal herbs he had found from various star fields. Because they had been half dead in the laboratory, he had tentatively brought them to Feng Chengyuan's yard to plant them, just to add a little greenery to his bare yard. He had always thought that these medicinal herbs were dead, but he didn't expect that they would be growing so well now. In the flower garden, the green plants that had been wilting and looked like they would die if you didn't pay attention, now all became very green and energetic, and some even sprouted their heads. Some even grew several new leaves, and it was obvious that they were full of vitality. How could this happen? Are you taking care of all these? How do you raise them? Zhang Zhou held a green leaf in his hand, looked up at Yun Miao excitedly and asked. Yun Miao was speechless when he saw Zhang Zhou's expression. When this person looked at him before, it was as if he wanted to pull him onto the experimental table for dissection. However, when he looked at these plants now, he was as happy as a child without any thoughts. Yun Miao couldn't figure out for a moment which one was the real him. Chapter 88 Young Master Zhang has offended the general again. Zhang Zhou was very excited, not simply because these plants grew well, but because he had obtained these plants from various channels with great difficulty, and they would be of great help in his research on mental stabilizers. It's just that these medicinal herbs are too difficult to obtain, and even if they are brought back to the capital planet, they are extremely difficult to reproduce and survive, which greatly limits his research. But this time it was different. The small flower garden in front of him gave him hope for further research. That's why he was so excited. Under Zhang Zhou's questioning, Yun Miao could only tell him how she took care of these plants. However, there was nothing strange about the way she took care of the plants. This made Zhang Zhou suspicious. He didn't understand what was different about the process that allowed these plants to grow so well. Yun Miao herself didn't know. She was just taking care of these plants as ordinary flowers and plants. Who would have known that they were such useful medicinal herbs? Since this is your thing and it's so valuable, I won't touch it. Yun Miao was somewhat afraid of Zhang Zhou, so he wanted to have less contact with him as possible. He was about to pick up his tools and leave, but as soon as he stood up, he was stopped by Zhang Zhou. Don't leave, what will happen to these plants if you leave? Zhang Zhou was very anxious. He really can't take care of these plants himself. Zhang Zhou put his hands together and begged Yun Miao for help. Seeing that Yun Miao was unmoved, an idea suddenly occurred to him and he said directly, as long as you can help me continue to take care of these plants, I will also help you with something unconditionally in the future. No matter how difficult it is, as long as it does not touch the bottom line, I will help you complete it. Yun Miao paused as he was about to leave and looked at Zhang Zhou suspiciously. Seeing how serious he looked, he knew that what he said was true. Yun Miao hesitated for a bit, but then agreed very straightforwardly. He didn't suffer any loss anyway, so whatever happened was fine. Zhang Zhou was very happy and became more attentive to Yun Miao. There was no longer any inquiry in his eyes, which made Yun Miao feel much more comfortable when they were together. The two were discussing the maintenance of plants in the garden, and did not notice Feng Chengyuan's figure standing in front of the floor-to-ceiling window upstairs, staring at them expressionlessly. After a while, Feng Chengyuan finally controlled the new wheelchair and left, but the expression on his face looked a little indescribable. Butler Wu came over and reported to Feng Chengyuan, "General, young Master Zhang Zhou's room has been arranged." Feng Chengyuan snorted coldly upon hearing this and said, "Go tell him that there are no vacant rooms. Tell him to go back to his research institute as soon as possible." Butler Wu, while I was away, did young Master Zhang Zhou offend the admiral again? Butler Wu silently complained in his heart. He was used to it, so he responded and prepared to go find Zhang Zhou, but before he walked out of the room, he was stopped by Feng Chengyuan again. "Forget it, just let him stay overnight." After saying that, Feng Chengyuan went straight to his desk and started to deal with his own affairs. However, when he turned on the computer and started processing files, he could no longer concentrate as before. Instead, he would think of the scenes he had seen before, of Zhang Zhou and Yun Miao getting along with each other. Whenever he thought of it, Feng Chengyuan felt inexplicably irritated, which made him unable to calm down. After an unknown amount of time, Feng Chengyuan realized that his work efficiency had been halved, so he simply put down the work at hand and went back to his room to rest. Yun Miao did not communicate with Zhang Zhou for long before returning to her room. It was already completely dark at this time. After returning to her room, she first took a bath in the bathtub, then went back to bed and started browsing on her laptop. Yun Miao had previously tried hard not to pay attention to the news on Starnet in order not to get too nervous. However, after calming down for a while, Yun Miao felt that no matter what he saw, he would not be afraid anymore. Clicking on the hot searches on the Star blog, the entries related to himself were still very popular. In a short period of time, the Star internet users spontaneously formed a fan club for him and even opened a super topic. Yun Miao went in to take a look and found that the real-time number of people online was as high as 11 figures, and the topics in it were refreshed almost every minute and every second. "I can't allow anyone to have never heard Miao Miao's songs. Let me hear them all." When you click on a post, you will see a collection of all the songs Yun Miao has ever sung, and the number of comments under almost every song is a terrifying number. Especially when Yun Miao was calming Feng Chengyuan's mental power, the song, "Big Fish," she sang in mermaid form directly ignited everyone. "So beautiful. Is this the singing of a mermaid? How lucky I am to hear it in my lifetime." Closing square bracket. "This is the real sound of nature, love it." Closing square bracket. "Miao Miao mermaid looks so beautiful, I declare that she is my wife." Closing square bracket. "The above person is dreaming, 5-star coins for a key and 10-star coins for a lock, do you think you can match it?" Closing square bracket. Question mark comma question mark. Netizens have all become fans of Yun Miao, praising her while also worrying about her. Is Miao Miao's safety safe? We strongly request the authorities to protect our only mermaid. Don't think that the authorities have no problems. They may be the biggest threat. Closing square bracket. Question mark. It's scary to think about it. If anyone dares to touch our only mermaid, we will unite to protest. We don't believe that it will have no effect. Closing square bracket. Yun Miao was deeply touched by everyone's concern for him. After thinking about it, he directly opened his own Xingbo account and sent his first Xingbo content. Hello everyone, I am the anchor Yun Miao. Thank you for liking the different side of me. I am very happy. After sending it, Yun Miao closed the super topic contentedly and turned to check other content. She wanted to see the news about the previous appearance of the Zerg, but the previous news on Starblog had been completely removed at some point. Even if she searched directly for things related to the Zerg, she could only find other things. As for what happened on the cruise ship, it seemed as if someone had deliberately erased it in secret, and there was no news about it anymore. Yun Miao found it strange, but didn't take it too seriously. He just felt it was a pity that he couldn't know more about the situation. After browsing the computer for a while, Yun Miao turned it off and went to sleep. The next morning, Yun Miao got up early and went downstairs to prepare breakfast. Unexpectedly, Butler Wu had already prepared breakfast, and Feng Chengyuan was already sitting at the dining table, as if he was preparing to eat. Butler Wu invited Yun Miao to have dinner together. Yun Miao did not refuse, but she was a little confused as to why Zhang Zhou was not there during breakfast. Butler Wu glanced at Feng Chengyuan, who looked calm, without leaving a trace, and explained a few words to Yun Miao with complicated eyes. Only then did Yun Miao know that Zhang Zhou had left the admiral's mansion early in the morning and returned to the research institute. Yun Miao didn't pay much attention to Zhang Zhou's affairs. She just asked casually and then concentrated on eating breakfast. She didn't notice that Feng Chengyuan raised his eyes to look at her, with a little more satisfaction in his eyes. After breakfast, Feng Chengyuan asked Butler Wu to arrange a hovercraft, and then went to the Yun family with Yun Miao. Although Yun Miao was not happy to have contact with the Yun family, he was not afraid of them. Now that Feng Chengyuan was going back with him, he was even less afraid of them plotting against him. Chapter 89. Watching you perform quietly. Yun family. Will she really come back today? In the living room, Yun Songcheng was sitting on the sofa, drinking tea leisurely, while Yu Qingru beside him was asking with an uncertain look. Yun Bei glanced at Yu Qingru's expression and comforted her. Mom, Dad called her personally yesterday. How dare she not come back? Having said this, Yun Bei couldn't help but curl her lips, feeling very unhappy. What right did Yun Miao have to make their family wait for her? Did she really think she was a dish? Thinking of the news she saw on the Star Network, Yun Bei felt even more angry. How could Yun Miao be a mermaid? Others couldn't find any information about her because when she was brought back from the slums, her family destroyed all her previous information. It was also because of her mysterious identity that people believed she must be a mermaid. But Yun Bei knew Miao's identity. Even if she refused to admit in her heart that the Yun family had a daughter who came from a slum and was not presentable at all, it was undeniable that Yun Miao was really Yun Songcheng's daughter. This was an absolute fact. A Yun Miao like this could only be a human. How could he suddenly turn into a mermaid? Crazy. Just as he was thinking this, the maid brought in a few people from outside. The one walking in front was Feng Chengyuan, who was sitting in a wheelchair, while Yun Miao followed on the left side of Feng Chengyuan, and Butler Wu followed on the right side. When Yun Songcheng knew that Yun Miao had returned, a kind smile immediately appeared on his face. However, the moment he saw Feng Chengyuan, the smile on his face stiffened a lot. Why is he here? No, it should be that he is still alive. Damn it, who spread the news that Feng Chengyuan was buried at the bottom of the sea? Isn't he still alive and well? Yun Songcheng looked at Feng Chengyuan coming up to him, and immediately suppressed the surprise in his eyes. Instead, he showed a more friendly smile and walked forward to greet Feng Chengyuan. The same goes for Yu Qingru. Her attitude has changed 180 degrees compared to before. Meow meow, we have been waiting for you to come back since early morning. We didn't expect to see you until now. You have kept us waiting for so long. Yu Qingru wanted to get close to Yun Miao, but Yun Miao didn't appreciate it at all. He said coldly, "Since waiting is so hard, then don't wait. I don't have to come." The smile on Yu Qingru's face froze, and she was angered by Yun Miao's attitude. Yun Bei was standing beside Yu Qingru, staring at Yun Miao with an unchanging expression. When she saw Yun Miao speaking rudely, she naturally exploded. "Yun Miao, what's your attitude? Mommy is talking to you nicely, and you dare to talk back." Upon hearing this, Yun Miao glanced at Yun Bei and a meaningful smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. It seems that Yun Bei is the most sincere one in the Yun family. "Apologize to my mother," Yun Bei said bossily. Yun Miao looked at her as if it was a matter of course and just laughed. "Why are you laughing?" Yun Bei became even angrier, and even Yu Qingru could hardly hold back the smile on her face, as she felt like Yun Miao was laughing at her. "Why can't I laugh when I hear something funny?" On the way here, Yun Miao had thought clearly about the affairs between herself and the Yun family. Before, she had always chosen to avoid the people of the Yun family and was unwilling to conflict with them. In fact, it was only because she had just arrived in this world and her foundation was not yet stable. Even if she married Feng Chengyuan, she did not dare to use Feng Chengyuan's power to fight against the Yun family because she was unsure of Feng Chengyuan's attitude towards her. However, her concerns in this regard are much smaller now than before. Now she has her own source of income. She no longer has to worry about confronting the Yun family and being forced into a situation where she can't find a way out. Moreover, Feng Chengyuan is obviously willing to help her, so she is even less afraid. Especially after his identity was exposed, Yun Miao felt as if he had broken free of some shackles. He felt that there was no need for him to swallow his anger any longer. He simply sought redress for all the previous injustices and settled the accounts with the Yun family. After thinking this through, Yun Miao's attitude naturally became tougher, so when facing Yu Qingru and Yun Bei, he acted as if he was carrying a thorn. She will never let herself suffer any injustice again. Isn't what I said the truth? Why do I need to apologize? Why am I so easy to bully? Yun Miao looked at Yun Bei with a teasing look and felt that her IQ was really worrying. Yun Bei was irritated by Yun Miao's eyes and immediately lost her composure. "What's your attitude? How dare you talk to me like that?" Yun Miao sneered. "Who do you think you are? Why should I be polite to you? Also, the reason I came back today is because you called me to come back. If you want me to come back and suffer, I'm sorry, I won't accompany you." Upon hearing this, Yu Qingru quickly spoke up to smooth things over. "Yun Miao, don't be angry. Bayer is still young and doesn't understand. Don't bother with her." In front of Feng Chengyuan, although Yu Qingru had many dissatisfactions with Yun Miao in her heart, she still had to pretend to be tolerant and kind. She couldn't get angry with Yun Miao, so she could only stop her daughter and prevent her from continuing to confront Yun Miao. But Yu Qingru couldn't help but complain in her heart. When did Yun Miao become so eloquent? After taking a casual glance at Feng Chengyuan, Yu Qingru sneered in her heart. I guess he thought Feng Chengyuan followed him and thought he was great because he had someone to back him up. He really got bolder. Yu Qingru warned Yun Bei with her eyes, and then coaxed Yun Miao to sit down. Yun Miao did not refuse. She wanted to see what the Yun family's purpose was. She didn't think that they just wanted to give it to her because they found her mother's things. After everyone sat down, Yun Songcheng started chatting with Feng Chengyuan very eagerly. He felt that he was now Feng Chengyuan's elder, so he spoke in a high-handed manner. However, Feng Chengyuan seemed to be somewhat indifferent to him, which made Yun Songcheng feel neither superior nor inferior, and really uncomfortable. Seeing that Feng Chengyuan was unmoved, Yun Songcheng had to temporarily give up on building a good relationship with Feng Chengyuan and instead began to ask Yun Miao about her well-being. Yun Miao quietly watched Yun Songcheng acting like a good father. She felt calm and even wanted to laugh. Fortunately, she held it back in time so as not to laugh in front of Yun Songcheng. Watching these people acting wasn't enough, Yun Miao didn't want to ruin the atmosphere so quickly. Yun Miao has suffered so much since she was young. She got married not long after I brought her back. As a father, I feel really bad about it. Why don't you let her stay for a while this time and just spend some time with me as a father? Yun Songcheng suddenly wiped his eyes, revealing a look of regret and distress. He looked at Yun Miao lovingly and asked, "Miao Miao, what do you think?" Yun Songcheng thought that Yun Miao had always longed for recognition from her family, especially from herself as a father. He knew that Yun Miao had a deep admiration for him. As long as he said so, she would definitely agree out of kindness. However, just when he thought everything was fine, he heard Yun Miao say calmly, "I don't think it's that good." Chapter 90 seems a little cute. Yun Miao didn't want to put himself in a difficult position to cooperate with Yun Songcheng's performance, so he naturally refused directly. Yun Songcheng was full of surprise and couldn't believe that Yun Miao would answer like that. "Why, you're not." Yun Songcheng was so shocked that he didn't know what expression to make for a moment, so he looked inexplicably funny at the moment. "I just came back to get my mother's things. I'm not interested in anything else." Yun Miao spoke bluntly, not caring at all about Yun Songcheng's completely dark face. Yun Songcheng had never been humiliated like this before, especially since the other party was his own daughter whom he looked down upon. This made him extremely angry. But just as he was about to lose his temper, Yu Qingru grabbed his hand and stopped him. Yu Qingru signaled Yun Songcheng with her eyes to look at Feng Chengyuan. Yun Songcheng then reluctantly suppressed the anger in his heart, but he could no longer keep a smile on his face. Yu Qingru was also holding back a lot of anger in her heart, but she hadn't found a chance to vent it before. But now, she seemed to have thought of a solution. She changed her mind and made a heartbroken expression. "Yun Miao, how can you be so cold to your father? Don't you know how much he has missed you during this period?" Yu Qingru said, as if she suddenly realized something, and said helplessly to Feng Chengyuan beside her, "I'm sorry, General Feng, I made you laugh. Yun Miao is a child who lacks etiquette. I believe she has caused you a lot of trouble during this period. Why don't we let Yun Miao stay and let us teach her well? This way, when she returns, you will have less worries." She wanted Feng Chengyuan to directly tell Yun Miao to stay, so that Yun Miao would have to agree no matter how unwilling she was. Unfortunately, Yu Qingru's wish failed. Feng Chengyuan originally looked nonchalant, as if he didn't notice anyone present at all. However, when Yu Qingru spoke, Feng Chengyuan raised his eyes to look at Yun Miao, with the corners of his lips slightly raised. Then he turned his head to look at Yun Songcheng and Yu Qingru, and his originally gentle expression suddenly became fierce. "When will it be the turn of outsiders to teach my people?" Feng Chengyuan's tone was a little lazy, but only those who faced him could feel the oppression emanating from him. Yun Songcheng's face changed and he became speechless. Yu Qingru shuddered and felt beads of sweat on her forehead. Yun Miao's eyes moved slightly, and he looked at Feng Chengyuan in surprise, feeling a warm current flowing through his heart. Unexpectedly, he would take the initiative to defend himself. Yun Miao felt more confident and said to Yun Songcheng and Yu Qingru, "There is no love between us, so you don't have to pretend in front of me." Her words were very rude. Yun Bei had been holding back her anger for a long time. Now that she was not frightened by Feng Chengyuan, she naturally stood up first and scolded Yun Miao. "You really are from the slums. You have no manners at all. Your parents were kind enough to keep you here, but you didn't appreciate it, and you even humiliated them like this. You are simply an ungrateful person." As Yun Bei spoke, she rushed to Yun Miao, wanting to teach him a lesson as she had done before, so she raised her hand to hit him in the face. But before her slap landed on Yun Miao's face, her hand was grabbed tightly. Then she felt a shadow passing by in front of her eyes, followed by a crisp, pop, sound, and a burning pain came from her cheek. Yun Miao's hand paused in the air for a moment, then he slapped Yun Bei on the other side of her face with his backhand, knocking Yun Bei unconscious. Then he pushed her casually, causing her to stagger back 2 steps and keep some distance between them. I taught you this the last time I spanked you, and I don't mind teaching you again this time. I'm the older sister and you're the younger sister, and you deserve to be spanked if you disrespect me. Yun Miao held his chin high and looked at Yun Bei with pride. That slightly arrogant look made Feng Chengyuan's heart move slightly. For a moment, it was as if something was touched, and a strange feeling surged in his heart. It seems kind of cute. Yun Miao didn't know that Feng Chengyuan was staring at her. She was feeling relieved at the moment. Humph, do you really think you can still be bullied like before? Now that Yun Miao's bloodline has awakened, her physical fitness in all aspects has been improved. If Yun Bei wants to hit her unexpectedly, she will not be able to escape her eyes at all, so what happened just now happened that Yun Bei failed to hit someone and was slapped twice instead. Even so, Yun Miao still felt that the lesson he had given was not light enough. Yun Bei had bullied the original body too many times, and even caused the original body to lose his life in the water. Although Yun Miao has now lived on in place of the original body, he cannot forgive anyone on behalf of the original body. The only thing he can do is to get back all the debts. Thinking of this, Yun Miao glanced aside, took 2 steps forward, and in front of Yun Bei's horrified gaze, he reached out and grabbed Yun Bei's neck, then pulled her in front of him. Do you think I'm still as easy to bully as before? Like before, I wouldn't dare to say a word even if you pushed me into the water. Let me tell you, I'm not a soft persimmon that you can't push. Yun Bei was forced to look into Yun Miao's eyes. Looking at Yun Miao's cold eyes, she suddenly felt as if she had fallen into an icy purgatory. There were terrible scenes all around her. A chill that almost froze her rose from the soles of her feet and slowly froze her entire body. No, no, help, help. Yun Bei was panting heavily, her eyes full of confusion. She was frozen in place, and she didn't even know when Yun Miao let her go. Instead, she grabbed her own neck with both hands, constantly exerting force, as if she wanted to strangle herself to death. Belle, what's wrong with you? When Yu Qingru saw this scene, her face changed drastically with shock, and she hurried forward to stop Yun Bei from self-harming. She called out several times before Yun Bei finally regained her consciousness. After she came back to her senses, Yun Bei immediately felt discomfort in her throat. She covered her mouth and coughed several times. She raised her eyes and saw Yun Miao's face. She immediately seemed to be greatly frightened and threw herself into Yu Qingru's arms. She is the one who hurt me, cough cough. Yun Bei pointed at Yun Miao with fear in her eyes and complained to Yu Qingru. Yu Qingru patted Yun Bei's back gently to calm her down. After hearing her daughter's accusation, she immediately turned back to look at Yun Miao and said with sadness, Yun Miao, she is your sister after all. How could you hurt her like this? Her eyes were accusing, as if Yun Miao had done something against the law. Yun Miao was not moved at all, and even laughed out loud. Why didn't you stand up when she wanted to hit me? I was acting in self-defense, but how come you said I hurt her? Check out our playlist for more amazing novels. Chapter 91 Conflict. It's you who's bullying me. Yun Bei hid in Yu Qingru's arms, staring at Yun Miao with fierce but fearful eyes. Devil, she must be a devil. Yun Bei didn't know what had just happened. She only knew that after Yun Miao approached her, she suddenly felt dizzy, and then the scenes in front of her became terrifying. The feeling of being on the verge of death still lingered in her heart, making her tremble uncontrollably. Yu Qingru felt her daughter's trembling and felt distressed. She no longer pretended to be polite to Yun Miao. Yun Miao, Bayer didn't hurt you at all. You not only beat her, but also scared her like this. Do you still say that you are a victim? Yun Miao spread his hands. Why not? That's enough. What on earth are you guys doing? Can't you see there are guests here? Yun Songcheng stood up and scolded them. He swept his eyes around the people and finally landed on Yun Miao. Then, suppressing his unhappiness, he said earnestly, Yun Miao, you are the elder sister. Why do you always argue with your younger sister? She is not sensible. Are you not sensible too? It was obvious that these words were defending Yun Bei, and Yun Miao almost vomited. Why don't I remember having a sister? Isn't I my mother's only daughter? You. After hearing what Yun Miao said, Yu Qingru became so angry that her face turned very ugly. Then she immediately pretended to be sad and wiped away her tears with her hands. I am indeed not your biological mother, but I also treat you as my own child. I didn't expect that my kindness would be rejected by you like this. I am so sad. Yun Songcheng saw Yu Qingru wiping away tears, and saw Yun Miao acting as if nothing had happened, with no sign of hesitation at all, and he suddenly became even angrier. He was about to get angry, but before he could open his mouth, he heard Feng Chengyuan coughing lightly. It seemed like an unintentional action, but also like a deliberate reminder. Yun Songcheng's anger was stuck in his chest, and for a moment he didn't know whether he should continue. In the end, he could only grit his teeth and say, Yun Miao, apologize. How could you talk to your mother like that? Yun Miao didn't take it seriously. He snorted coldly and said, I seem to have been an orphan since I was a child. Where did my mother come from? Even if she is my biological mother, she is not her. What kind of apology do you want me to say? Yun Songcheng was furious, but he still had to patiently comfort her. Are you blaming me for separating from your mother and letting you wander around for so many years? I didn't want to do that. Your mother left without saying goodbye and didn't even leave a word. If she hadn't done that, our family would never have been separated. Did she really leave without saying goodbye? Or did she have to leave for some other reason? Yun Miao didn't know what had happened back then, but after taking a quick look at the Yun family's situation, he could guess most of the truth. I just want to ask one thing. My mother married you first, so why did she have a brother who is 1 year older than me? Yun Miao's words suddenly made Yun Songcheng's face change, as if he had been hit in the sore spot. He immediately scolded Yun Miao without caring that Feng Chengyuan was present. Yun Miao, don't go too far. How can you talk to your elders like that? Yu Qingru also restrained her expression and stopped pretending to cry, but the expression on her face was very ugly, and she couldn't even maintain the kind appearance that she tried so hard to put on weekdays. Recalling what happened that year, Yu Qingru couldn't stop thinking of the woman who took away everything from her. It was obvious that she and Yun Songchengkai were the most suitable match, but that woman got there first. Fortunately, she did not give up, and in the end, didn't everything return to her hands. Thinking of this, Yu Qingru couldn't help but reveal a smug look, and looking at Yun Miao, she was not going to pretend anymore. Back then, your mother bewitched your father, causing him to marry her regardless of everything. It was obvious that Song Cheng and I had already fallen in love before that, and I was already pregnant. It was your mother who suddenly appeared as the third party, and then she left out of shame, leaving you stranded outside. This is the truth of the year. Now that you know it, are you satisfied? Yu Qingru raised her lips slightly, thinking maliciously in her heart, Yun Miao's current attitude, isn't it because she has the confidence to stand up for her mother? Now that she knows that her mother is a despicable third party, let's see if she has the face to continue making trouble. Yun Songcheng didn't say anything, as if he agreed with Yu Qingru's statement. Yun Bei, who was hiding behind Yu Qingru, looked at Yun Miao with disdain. She seemed to have forgotten her fear and muttered some unpleasant words. He is such a lowly person. His mother is a shameless mistress and his daughter is an ungrateful bastard. They are really a good match for mother and daughter. She thought she was mumbling very quietly, but she didn't expect that Yun Miao would glare at her as soon as she finished speaking. She was so scared that she shrank back and hid behind Yu Qingru again. If you think the mouth is too redundant, I can sew it up for you. Yun Miao threatened unceremoniously. Then he looked at Yu Qingru and said calmly, I will investigate the truth myself. I don't want to argue with you all that much. I came back to get my mother's things. Since you said you want to give them to me, just give them to me. Yun Miao didn't want to continue dealing with these people, so he decided to just take his things and leave. Yun Songcheng and Yu Qingru did not move, neither of them wanted to fulfill Yun Miao's wish. Feng Chengyuan had been watching the show silently. When he felt that it was almost time, he spoke up, Mr. Yun, are you unwilling to hand it over? Yun Songcheng heard the warning in Feng Chengyuan's words and knew that he was going to support Yun Miao. Although he was very unhappy about it, he still called the maid to go upstairs and get the things down. A box the size of a shoe box felt a little light when it was handed to Yun Miao. Yun Miao did not open it immediately to see what was inside. After taking it, he looked at Feng Chengyuan and asked him if he was going to leave. Yun Songcheng saw through Yun Miao's thoughts and quickly changed his attitude. He said earnestly, "Now that I've given you the things, are you still angry? Do you really want me, your father, to personally apologize to you before you forgive me? Do you really want me to stay and accompany you, your old father?" Yun Miao wanted to laugh when he heard that. Does this person really not understand, or is he pretending not to understand? There is no family affection between them. Actually, you don't have to tell me all this. You can just tell me your purpose directly. I'm tired of pretending like this. Yun Miao looked at the Yun family members and found one thing very strange. Her mermaid identity had been exposed, but the Yun family seemed to be unaware of it. Did they really not notice the news on the Starnet? Or were they pretending to know nothing? If the latter, what exactly did they want to do? Chapter 92. I want to sever ties with the Yun family. Seeing Yun Miao take the initiative to clarify, the expressions on Yun Songcheng and Yu Qingru's faces changed for a moment, and only after a while did they finally reveal their true colors. Now that the things have been given to you, since you don't want to stay, we can't force you. But we are a family after all. After all, it was me who brought you back, fed you well, clothed you, and gave you a home. You won't be ungrateful, right? After Yun Songcheng stopped pretending, he returned to his former cold appearance, but the words he said were full of twists and turns, and he was just short of saying that if Yun Miao refused, he would be ungrateful. Yun Miao didn't buy it, but before he could answer, Feng Chengyuan said directly, "Mr. Yun, if I remember correctly, Yun Miao has only been in your house for a little over a month. What you just said is really ridiculous." Unexpectedly, Feng Chengyuan would speak. Yun Songcheng frowned, feeling unhappy but still forcing a smile, and said, "General Feng, you can't say that. Even if she didn't stay in my house for a long time, she is still my daughter. As a father, it's not too much for me to ask her to do something." "Haha, Mr. Yun really thinks too highly of yourself. You can't order my people around casually." Feng Chengyuan glanced at Yun Songcheng sharply, and his attitude of protecting Yun Miao was simple and clear. Yun Songcheng looked unhappy. Yun Miao felt warm in his heart. This feeling of being protected made him feel safe. But she wanted to solve the Yun family's affairs on her own. "Your Excellency the Admiral," Yun Miao called out softly, and Feng Chengyuan looked at her. Neither of them spoke, but just from the eye contact, Feng Chengyuan tacitly understood Yun Miao's unspoken thoughts, so he nodded slightly, indicating that this matter would be left to Yun Miao to handle. Yun Miao smiled back and turned to Yun Songcheng to ask his request. Without Feng Chengyuan's obstruction, Yun Songcheng directly expressed his thoughts. After listening to Yun Songcheng, Yun Miao realized that he wanted to meet someone by himself. "That is it." Yun Miao was surprised. Did they call him back just for such a simple request? Yun Songcheng glanced at Feng Chengyuan inconspicuously, and thought to himself, of course it's not just that. However, in front of Feng Chengyuan, he naturally couldn't say some of his little plans, so after struggling, he finally nodded and said, "That's right." Yun Miao was a little skeptical, but she was too lazy to ask further questions. However, she did not agree directly. Instead, she met Yun Songcheng's urging gaze and said calmly, "I can agree, but I also have a request." "What do you want to do?" Yun Miao chuckled, his expression harmless. "I want to completely sever my ties with the Yun family. From now on, I will go my own way and I will no longer be a member of the Yun family." "What did you say?" Yun Songcheng couldn't believe it and thought he had heard it wrong. However, seeing Yun Miao's determined expression, Yun Songcheng immediately understood that she was serious. "Are you crazy?" In an instant, Yun Songcheng could imagine how many people would laugh at the Yun family or himself once this incident came out. "Impossible, this is absolutely impossible." Yun Miao spread his hands indifferently. Okay, we'll leave first. Don't come to me in the future if you have anything to do. And many more. Seeing Yun Miao was about to leave, Yun Songcheng hurriedly called her back. Thinking of his own plan, Yun Songcheng weighed it in his mind and gritted his teeth and agreed. Okay, I promise you. Yun Miao's eyebrows twitched when he heard this. He didn't expect that he would agree so readily. However, it was a good thing that he agreed, and Yun Miao was still very satisfied. In that case, then it's settled. Yun Miao then asked Yun Songcheng about what he had requested and who he was going to meet, but Yun Songcheng did not tell her directly. He only told her to go back and wait and he would contact her later. Yun Miao nodded indifferently, which was considered as his agreement. Seeing that Yun Miao didn't want to stay any longer, Feng Chengyuan directly said that he wanted to leave. Yun Miao naturally nodded in agreement and followed Feng Chengyuan out of the Yun family mansion. The Yun family didn't dare to stop Feng Chengyuan and could only watch Yun Miao leave. After the hovercraft left, Yun Bei, who had been holding back, returned to her usual arrogant attitude and said dissatisfiedly, "Dad, why did you just let her go? She bullied me so much just now, you should teach her a lesson." Yu Qingru also agreed, "Yeah, why did you agree to her request to sever the relationship? Not to mention her legal marriage with Feng Chengyuan, she has now revealed her identity as a mermaid." "Shut up." Before Yu Qingru could finish her words, Yun Songcheng interrupted her with a scolding, and his expression became very ugly. "When you brought her back, didn't you take her for a paternity test? But look at what she is now. A mermaid. Tell me, why did my kind change into a different species?" Thinking of this, Yun Songcheng suddenly felt as if a green light was covering his head, making him feel uneasy. Yu Qingru thought for a moment and said, "Could it be that her mother is also a mermaid?" "Impossible. She is so afraid of water, how could she be a mermaid?" Yun Songcheng firmly refused to believe that the woman who was afraid of water would have any relationship with the mermaids living in the water, so the biggest possibility was that the woman he once loved had an affair with another mermaid behind his back and gave birth to Yun Miao, the illegitimate child. Just thinking about this, Yun Songcheng wanted to strangle Yun Miao to death to wash away his own shame. His expression was so scary that Yun Bei was a little scared and hid behind Yu Qingru. Yu Qingru was not frightened, but instead felt a little happy. That woman always has a place in Yun Songcheng's heart, and she can never be erased no matter what. Now, the problem that troubled her has been solved directly, and the effect is even better than expected, which is really gratifying. It's my fault. I was anxious to settle Bayer's marriage, so I didn't pay much attention to the paternity test. Maybe someone tampered with it, so we all thought she was from the Yun family. But now it has come to this. The most important thing right now is to resolve Hauer's issue first." Yu Qingru said tentatively, carefully observing Yun Songcheng's reaction. Seeing that he did not object, she continued, "As for Yun Miao's identity as a mermaid, it won't do us much harm. On the contrary, it may even bring us benefits. This is why I don't agree to completely sever ties with her." Yun Songcheng knew that Yu Qingru sometimes had some unique ideas. After hearing her say this, he became interested and began to listen to Yu Qingru's analysis. On the other side, Yun Miao and Feng Chengyuan left in a hovercraft. In the car, Yun Miao expressed his gratitude to Feng Chengyuan for his previous maintenance. However, Feng Chengyuan seemed to be in a bad mood since he got in the car, which made Yun Miao a little confused. As the admiral feeling unwell, Yun Miao was a little worried, but Feng Chengyuan looked at her with an ambiguous look, which made Yun Miao even more confused. "What happened? Have you always been like this?" After looking at Yun Miao in silence for a long while, Feng Chengyuan sighed and spoke, his words revealing a sense of disappointment. Chapter 93 Slip Away. Yun Miao was at a loss, and for a moment she did not understand what Feng Chengyuan meant, but after a little thought, she understood. "You mean, my attitude towards the Yun family?" Yun Miao asked tentatively. Feng Chengyuan nodded and said in a deep voice, "When the Yun family approached the Feng family, they promised me some conditions to my uncle and his family to arrange my marriage. I was busy with military affairs at the time and had no time to take care of other things, so I let them do it. I didn't expect that my mental power would riot and I would be in a coma for half a year. After I woke up, the Yun family directly changed my engagement partner. The Yun family has always been good at calculating. If you act too easy to talk to, you can expect to be calculated to death by them. There was nothing alarmist in Feng Chengyuan's words, he was just stating the facts in a plain manner. He wanted to remind Yun Miao not to be too weak, but as he spoke it sounded like he was explaining something, so he could only abruptly change the subject and express his thoughts. However, Yun Miao's focus seemed a little off. So, the admiral doesn't like Yun Bei, right? Yun Miao didn't know why he suddenly asked this question. After he asked it, he realized belatedly what he had asked and felt a little embarrassed. Don't get me wrong, I'm just curious. No, I'm just asking casually. Yun Miao explained in a way that made the matter even more obvious. Feng Chengyuan's lips curved slightly and he denied, of course I don't like you. After thinking for a while, he added, I prefer someone who is a little more well-behaved, and preferably has good cooking skills. As he spoke, Feng Chengyuan glanced at Yun Miao casually, and some emotion seemed to flash through his mind. Yun Miao nodded casually upon hearing this, and responded calmly, oh. Just when Feng Chengyuan thought she was going to say something, Yun Miao changed the subject and said, I know you think I've been too tolerant of the Yun family, so you reminded me like this. In fact, I know what's going on. Feng Chengyuan's eyes flickered slightly, but he shook his head imperceptibly. This little mermaid, why is the focus always off-center? Yun Miao didn't notice Feng Chengyuan's reaction and continued talking to himself. If the Yun family dares to plot against me, I will not be polite anymore. This is a good opportunity to settle the old scores. Since she proposed to completely sever ties with the Yun family, she has already made her attitude clear. She will no longer show mercy to the Yun family. Seeing Yun Miao gritting his teeth, Feng Chengyuan's eyes showed a slight smile. Since you think this way, it seems that you are not hopeless. If Yun Miao is too kind and doesn't even know how to fight back when being bullied, then he would have to suspect whether this little mermaid has a problem with her brain. The two chatted some more about the Yun family, mainly about Feng Chengyuan teaching Yun Miao how to guard against the Yun family's schemes. Yun Miao knew that Feng Chengyuan was helping him, so he listened to Feng Chengyuan very carefully and was as well behaved as a good student. Feng Chengyuan was very satisfied with this, so his tone became softer when he spoke. The atmosphere between the two was very good, but no one of the parties noticed it. Only Butler Wu, who was sitting in the driver's seat, noticed it. However, as a qualified butler, he would not rashly speak at this time to ruin the atmosphere. Butler Wu was just sighing in his heart that his admiral finally no longer only focused on work and fighting, and maybe he would get it soon. If he saw that day, he would have given an explanation to the marshal. In this way, they returned all the way to the admiral's mansion. The thoughtful Butler Wu quietly reduced the speed of the hovercraft in order to give the two of them more time to spend together. However, halfway through the journey, Yun Miao suddenly felt inspired and thought that he had not cooked for a long time, so he decided to go to the supermarket himself, buy some ingredients and go back to make something delicious. When getting off the car, Yun Miao glanced at Feng Chengyuan and asked him hesitantly whether he wanted to go for a walk with him. After all, Butler Wu had gone with him, leaving Feng Chengyuan alone in the car, which was quite boring. It was just a casual question, and I thought that with Feng Chengyuan's personality, he would most likely not agree, but I didn't expect that Feng Chengyuan would unexpectedly agree. So the three of them went to the supermarket to buy things together. This was not Yun Miao's first time shopping in a supermarket, and she had a list of what she needed to buy in her mind. Feng Chengyuan accompanied him silently, watching Yun Miao carefully selecting the ingredients he wanted, and he didn't feel bored at all. Everything was peaceful and leisurely at first, but soon this comfortable atmosphere was interrupted by someone's scream. Ah, you are the mermaid anchor. A customer who was also choosing food in the food area recognized Yun Miao the moment he inadvertently looked up and screamed in excitement. Her shout immediately attracted the attention of other customers. After hearing the shout, There were not many customers in the supermarket, but they all gathered towards Yun Miao, and many of them began to talk. That person looks so familiar. Where have I seen him before? Yeah, I think I saw it on Starnet these days. Let me take a look. Oh my god, she's that anchor, the mermaid anchor. Is it true? Oh my god, it's true. Come on, go and take a look. Where is the mermaid? Mermaid. Quote. More and more people gathered, and the noisy sounds made Yun Miao feel like something was wrong. It happened. Yun Miao cried out inwardly that something was wrong. Seeing more and more guests gathering around him, Yun Miao gave up the ingredients he was selecting without a second thought. He quickly walked behind Feng Chengyuan's wheelchair, grabbed the armrests with both hands, and without waiting for Butler Wu to react, he pushed Feng Chengyuan and ran towards the exit. Make way, make way. Someone is injured, don't block the way. The mermaid is behind us, go and see her. Don't block the wounded from leaving. Yun Miao lowered his head slightly and used Feng Chengyuan and the wheelchair to slightly hide his appearance. He also loudly fooled the other guests who did not see the situation clearly, and then when others noticed him, he quickly pushed Feng Chengyuan out. The guests had heard the noise and came to watch the fun. When too many people gathered, it was easy for the scene to become chaotic. Yun Miao took the opportunity to slip away and distract others' attention. He just happened to avoid the crowd's blockade and escaped with difficulty. At this moment, he had no time to care about the smart shopping basket following behind him. Yun Miao pushed Feng Chengyuan out of the supermarket and headed towards the hovercraft, leaving the smart shopping basket spinning at the checkout counter. Butler Wu, who squeezed out of the crowd, was a step slower and went forward to pay for the items in the shopping basket. Chapter 94. Don't touch her. Pushing Feng Chengyuan out of the supermarket with the speed of wind, Yun Miao and Feng Chengyuan got back on the hovercraft. The moment the door was closed, Yun Miao felt his heart fall back into his stomach. What's wrong with those people? They're so scary. Yun Miao patted his chest to calm his frightened heart, and his face still showed some lingering fear. Judging from the situation just now, if I didn't get away quickly, I would be trapped inside and unable to get out. After a while, Yun Miao finally felt his pounding heart slow down, and he remembered what he had done just now to slip away from the crowd. She actually pushed Feng Chengyuan's wheelchair and ran away. Oh my god, what was I thinking just now? Yun Miao looked at Feng Chengyuan with a dry laugh, and sure enough, he saw Feng Chengyuan staring at him expressionlessly. It's over. Is he going to be angry? Yun Miao quickly clasped his hands together and apologized devoutly. I'm sorry, I just did that in a hurry, please don't be angry, General. Feng Chengyuan looked at Yun Miao's uneasy expression, with her brows slightly furrowed as if she was afraid that he would get angry. The complicated emotions in his heart seemed to dissipate like smoke and dust, leaving only a little helplessness. It's my fault too. I forgot that you are different now than you were before. Feng Chengyuan was also a little annoyed. Why did he agree to go to the supermarket with Yun Miao when he heard her say that she wanted to buy the ingredients herself and saw her longing look? He forgot that her identity was now exposed. In the interstellar world, he didn't know how many people already knew Yun Miao's true identity, so it was normal for her to be recognized. However, people's curiosity about mermaids was beyond Feng Chengyuan's imagination, and the scene just now was also somewhat unexpected for him. Fortunately, nothing happened. Yun Miao was relieved to hear that Feng Chengyuan did not blame him. But just as he breathed a sigh of relief, the car door was suddenly opened. Yun Miao had his back to the car door and was frightened when he heard the noise. He quickly turned around and looked towards the car door vigilantly, fearing that those people would chase him here. Butler Wu just wanted to confirm the safety of Feng Chengyuan and Yun Miao, but he was surprised by Yun Miao's reaction when he opened the door. What's wrong? Butler Wu was so frightened that he was unable to speak. It is you. Yun Miao didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Fortunately it was Butler Wu, it would have been terrible if it was someone else. Thinking of this, Yun Miao hurriedly urged Butler Wu to get in the car. It's not suitable to stay here for long, let's leave quickly. Yun Miao looked outside cautiously, fearing that he would see those people chasing after him. Feng Chengyuan couldn't help but chuckle at Yun Miao's reaction, and gestured to Butler Wu, who then quickly got into the driver's seat, started the car and flew onto the high-altitude driveway. After returning to the admiral's mansion, Yun Miao had calmed down from the shock. After seeing the food that Butler Wu brought back, his mood improved a lot. That's great. I thought I wouldn't be able to buy fresh ingredients today, but I didn't expect that Butler Wu would be able to help me. It seems that today is all thanks to Butler Wu. I will cook something delicious to calm you down. After saying that, Yun Miao carried the ingredients to the kitchen. Butler Wu was originally going to help, but was rejected by Yun Miao. Feng Chengyuan couldn't help but curl the corners of his lips as he watched Yun Miao leave briskly. It seems that my mentality is still good. At least I won't be entangled in unhappy things for a long time. Just as he was thinking about it, Feng Chengyuan's computer received a prompt, indicating that there was a communication request to answer. Feng Chengyuan glanced at the communication number and the smile on his lips suddenly dropped. He looked up at the direction Yun Miao left, then turned and headed towards the indoor elevator. Butler Wu followed him upstairs. From the look on his face just now, one could tell that something was wrong. After returning to the study, Feng Chengyuan answered the call. The next second, a virtual projection screen appeared in front of Feng Chengyuan. He was a middle-aged man in black and red parliamentary formal attire. He had a square face that looked somewhat righteous, but perhaps because he frowned frequently, there were wrinkles between his eyebrows, making him look very serious. As soon as the communication was connected, the other party spoke directly. Admiral Feng, regarding the Zerg attack on the Feng cruise ship, the Parliament needs you to give an explanation for this. Feng Chengyuan's eyes darkened when he heard this, and he said in a cold voice, Councillor Gao, I think you should go and ask the people in the 3rd Legion who are responsible for the security of the capital planet about this matter. It's no use asking me, after all, I'm still on vacation. The other party was choked and his expression became a little ugly. Councillor Gao seemed to have something to say, but paused before the words reached his lips. He took a deep breath and continued, I will have someone contact the 3rd Legion about this matter, but I will also send someone to contact General Feng. Please cooperate with me then. Feng Chengyuan did not comment. Councillor Gao was somewhat dissatisfied with Feng Chengyuan's attitude, but he did not say much. Instead, he changed the subject and asked about another matter. The most popular topic about mermaids on the Jingxing internet, I wonder if Admiral Feng knows about it. Councillor Gao stared at Feng Chengyuan with a burning gaze, as if observing the subtle expressions on his face. However, Feng Chengyuan looked calm, making it impossible to guess his inner thoughts from his reaction. Yes, something. Councillor Gao was unable to see the answer he wanted from Feng Chengyuan's expression, and he didn't care. Instead, he continued to ask, I heard that the mermaid is related to Admiral Feng. Feng Chengyuan had no expression on his face. What do you want to say? If Councillor Gao was beside Feng Chengyuan at this moment, he would definitely be able to sense the mighty aura emanating from Feng Chengyuan, which was the fierce aura that could only be cultivated by being in a high position and holding great power for a long time. Unfortunately, Councillor Gao could not sense anything through the light screen, and instead continued to speak in a suicidal manner. I heard that she and Admiral Feng were only engaged by their elders and they don't have any feelings for each other. As a federal admiral, I think Admiral Feng should make due contributions to the Federation. What do you want to say? Feng Chengyuan's face darkened, and the look in his eyes when he looked at Councillor Gao was full of danger. Councillor Gao didn't notice anything and continued to talk in a suicidal manner. I think Admiral Feng should know something about the appearance of the mermaid. Even if he doesn't know, it doesn't matter. It would be a great blessing for everyone if he knew. As long as the researchers can get her. Shut up. Feng Chengyuan could no longer bear it and interrupted Councillor Gao directly. His angry shouting finally made Councillor Gao realize that something was wrong. General Feng, you, Councilman Gao, whether this is your idea or supported by other members of the Parliament, regarding the mermaid, I advise you not to have any delusions. I will not hand her over. Feng Chengyuan said this in a decisive tone, and without waiting for the angry counselor Gao to speak, he hung up the phone. But after he hung up the phone, he was so angry that he slapped the armrest of the wheelchair with such force that if the wheelchair had not been customized with special materials, it would have been deformed by now. Chapter 95 has started. Admiral. Butler Wu looked at Feng Chengyuan with some concern, fearing that his anger would cause his mental strength to become abnormal. In addition, Butler Wu was also very worried about Yun Miao's situation. I had previously speculated that after Yun Miao's identity was exposed, it would definitely attract the covetousness of many people, but I didn't expect that he would attract the attention of the federal parliament staff so quickly. The parliament has begun to pay attention to Miss Yun's affairs. They may put direct pressure on you in the future. This. Butler Wu expressed his concerns. Feng Chengyuan was silent for a moment, and when he raised his eyes again, the look in his eyes became very firm. Since I have promised to protect her, I will not break my promise. As he spoke, Feng Chengyuan seemed to have thought of something, and a mocking smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Did they really think they can figure out something by taking people away? It's ridiculous. If they really do that, they'll be digging their own graves. Butler Wu was puzzled. What do you mean? Feng Chengyuan, Yun Miao is a mermaid, the only mermaid discovered so far. Now we know that Yun Miao has the innate ability to calm mental riots. She is simply a treasure for all interstellar people. What do you think will happen if such a treasure is taken away for research? Butler Wu didn't dare to think about the consequences of this matter. If that were really the case, I'm afraid all the people in the galaxy would go crazy, right? Feng Chengyuan didn't say anything else, but his eyes were full of mystery. In the kitchen, after Yun Miao put all the ingredients in place, he did not start processing them immediately. Instead, he directly opened his light brain and dialed someone's number. It only took a few breaths for the other party to connect the call. The next second, a fat face appeared on the projected virtual light screen. The moment Wang Chen saw Yun Miao, his eyes seemed to light up and his emotions became excited. Miss Yun, do you have anything to say? Wang Chen didn't expect to receive a call from Yun Miao. Although they are now in a cooperative relationship, Yun Miao rarely contacts her. The reason why he was so excited was naturally because he also learned about Yun Miao's mermaid identity on the internet. That's a mermaid. According to legend, the beautiful and mysterious mermaid. Wang Chen had never thought that Yun Miao actually had such an identity. Just thinking that he actually knew the mermaid and had a cooperative relationship with her, Wang Chen was so excited that he wanted to jump 3 times on the spot. Although he was very excited, Wang Chen still controlled his expression and asked Yun Miao the purpose of contacting him. Yun Miao did not care about Wang Chen's attitude, but directly asked about the follow-up of the cooperation between the two parties. After contacting the Yun family today, Yun Miao felt that his previous decision was not wrong. Everyone in the Yun family held great malice towards him, so there was nothing for him to worry about. We have almost prepared for the attack on Yun's catering company. We are just waiting for the best opportunity to catch them off guard. When it comes to business, Wang Chen becomes much more serious. Yun Miao can see the changes in him during this period of time. He has obviously become more mature than before. In that case, I'll leave this matter to you. I only have one request, don't show any mercy. Yun Miao said in a deep voice. Wang Chen nodded hurriedly and patted his chest to assure. Don't worry, Miss Yun, this matter will definitely not disappoint you. Yun Miao was very satisfied. After explaining the situation, Yun Miao was about to hang up the call, but Wang Chen called her just 1 second before the call ended. Anything else? Yun Miao asked doubtfully. Wang Chen touched the back of his head and said with a simple smile, Ms. Yun, have you read the news online recently? Many people are saying that they hope you can do live broadcast. Actually, I also want to ask, will Miss Yun still do live broadcast in the future? Yun Miao was stunned. She had never thought about this before. When the live broadcast went wrong before, Yun Miao cut off the live broadcast in panic and has not been online since then. The main reason was that his identity had caused a sensation on the internet. If this was broadcast live, Who knows what the scene would be like? Seeing Yun Miao hesitating, Wang Chen thought that Yun Miao did not intend to live broadcast, and immediately began to persuade him anxiously. Everyone wants to watch Miss Yun's live broadcast. Please don't give up on it. Wang Chen's favorite thing to do is to listen to Yun Miao's singing. That way he feels very calm and wants to be more focused than usual when doing things. Therefore, when he suspected that Yun Miao wanted to stop the live broadcast, he spared no effort to persuade Yun Miao to stay. Yun Miao listened to Wang Chen say a lot of good things, and to sum it up, it was just one thing: he hoped he could continue live streaming. After thinking for a while, Yun Miao nodded and smiled. Don't worry, I still prefer being a host. Upon hearing this, Wang Chen felt relieved. Great, in that case, I won't disturb Miss Yun's rest. Having said that, although he was very reluctant, he still hung up the phone. Yun Miao watched the light screen in front of him disappear, thought for a moment, then left the kitchen and walked upstairs. After returning to the room, Yun Miao found his live broadcast ball and then went back to the kitchen. The live broadcast ball was still the same one as before. Although it had been soaked in the seawater before, Yun Miao was really surprised by its waterproof performance. After swimming in the sea for a while, it was fished out without any problems and was still very easy to use. This saved Yun Miao the money to buy a live broadcast ball. He was really lucky. Wang Chen said that many people on Star Internet were waiting for his live broadcast, so in that case, he might as well do another food live broadcast. Thinking of this, Yun Miao readjusted the live broadcast ball, then directly turned on the live broadcast ball and started the live broadcast. Time goes back to when Wang Chen just hung up the phone. Excited Wang Chen directly opened his Xingbo account and sent a message. Excited. I finally don't have to worry about Miao Miao not broadcasting live anymore. I can still see the gorgeous mermaid Miao Miao in the future. So happy. With the weird ID name, please call me Food Grinder, Wang Chen is a famous food appreciation blogger on Xingbo. The account has many fans, and many netizens who are also food lovers are always paying attention to the news of this account, waiting to know where there is delicious food, and then rush to satisfy their appetite. Therefore, just a few moments after the Xingbo message was sent, a lot of replies appeared below this message. Sa Xiaofen is also a fan of Miss Mermaid. But what does this mean? Does Xiaofen know that Miss Mermaid will continue to live broadcast in the future? Closing square bracket. Is this just a lie? I don't believe it, unless you let the girl start broadcasting. Closing square bracket. It's like you know the mermaid lady. ? There were a variety of replies under the message. Some fans expressed their support and belief, and naturally there were also some naturally foul-mouthed haters who made sarcastic remarks, as if they were afraid that others didn't know that they were foul-mouthed. For a time, this attracted strong condemnation from many fans and passers-by. However, just when those haters were enraged and began to mock more passionately, a piece of news suddenly spread on the internet. The live broadcast room of On the Waterside is now live. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel. Chapter 96 Maple Leaf Boss. The news that Yun Miao had started broadcasting immediately excited netizens. They ignored the battlefield here and rushed directly to Yun Miao's live broadcast room. Even Wang Chen entered the live broadcast room at the first opportunity. He had never thought that he had just mentioned the live broadcast to Yun Miao, and Yun Miao would start the live broadcast right away. This made Wang Chen feel inexplicably gratified and a sense of happiness that he was valued. Other netizens were also surprised and delighted, especially after entering the live broadcast room. They were directly struck by Yun Miao's beauty, which even attracted a group of wolves howling. Ah, the mermaid lady's beauty is killing me. Closing square bracket. Too close, my heart can't take it. Closing square bracket. Zoom in, I can't breathe anymore. I need artificial respiration from my sister. Closing square bracket. You in front of me are dreaming. ? The barrage of comments was flashing so fast that Yun Miao didn't pay attention to it. When she opened the live broadcast room, she found that there seemed to be something stuck on the live broadcast ball, so she took the live broadcast ball in her hand and took a look. This made the netizens in the live broadcast room look uneasy. After letting go of his hand and letting the live broadcast ball fly again, Yun Miao had time to pay attention to the barrage in the live broadcast room, and finally saw the excitement of the netizens. "Hello everyone, we meet again." Yun Miao waved towards the live camera and showed a bright smile, and immediately the live broadcast room howled again. "Ah, the little sister is smiling at me. Closing square bracket. Get lost, that's smiling at me. Closing square bracket. At this point I won't hide it anymore, the mermaid girl is my wife, don't even think about it. Closing square bracket. Wow, first hospital, there's a patient here. Question mark, comma, question mark." Yun Miao was a little amused and was about to speak up to stop the audience's fight, when she suddenly saw a comment that concerned her. "Anchor, are you safe now? You are a mermaid, will anyone come to catch you? Closing square bracket." This time, Yun Miao quickly saw the other party's ID name, which was, "Counting the Stars in the Long Night." The other party's words made Yun Miao feel a little warm in his heart. This feeling of being cared for by a stranger is truly a very happy thing. The barrage of comments, "Counting the Stars in the Long Night," was not only seen by Yun Miao, but also by many viewers. As a result, the style of the barrage of comments changed instantly, and all of them became expressions of concern for Yun Miao. Before, everyone was so excited to see Yun Miao that they forgot about other things for a moment. Now that they were reminded, they naturally focused their attention on Yun Miao's safety. "Host, please be careful. You are the only mermaid in the universe. I am so excited just thinking about this. Closing square bracket. I never thought I would be able to see a living mermaid in my lifetime. I am so happy. Closing square bracket. Am I the only one who is worried that the anchor will be captured and studied? After all, those bastards on Starnet actually tagged the Star Research Institute. Aren't they trying to kill people? Question mark, comma, question mark." The audience was worried and expressed concern for Yun Miao's safety. Yun Miao was very pleased after reading everyone's comments. He thought for a moment and said, "As you can see, I am a mermaid. I am sorry that I hid it from you for safety reasons. Now that you know my identity as a mermaid, you are still worried about me. I am actually very touched. But don't worry, my safety will be fine. As for that Star Research Institute." Yun Miao said this and paused for a moment, as if he was thinking about how to answer. After a moment, he spoke again. "The people from the Star Research Institute have not appeared in front of me yet, but even if they did, they would not have the chance to attack me." Yun Miao spoke with great confidence, which actually showed his trust in Feng Chengyuan. For some reason, Yun Miao felt that as long as Feng Chengyuan was by his side, he wouldn't have to worry about anyone hurting him. This feeling is very strange. They are just partners, but I trust him so much. As soon as Yun Miao finished speaking, a gift special effect exploded in the live broadcast room, and then the system prompt appeared in front of Yun Miao. Maple Leaf gave the anchor a spaceship as a reward. Closing square bracket. Maple Leaf gave the anchor a spaceship as a reward. Closing square bracket. Maple Leaf rewards. Question mark, comma, question mark. After rewarding 10 spaceships, the fan with ID, Maple Leaf, left a comment with golden font effects. Question mark. Don't worry, it was still just a few short words, fully demonstrating the Maple Leaf boss's cool temperament. After seeing those few words in the comments, the other viewers became lively again. The Maple Leaf boss is still very frugal with words. Closing square bracket. Big boss, look at me. Are you still missing a pendant? The kind that can warm the bed and eat a lot. Closing square bracket. Don't think about the previous part. Didn't you see that Maple Leaf boss only had eyes for the mermaid girl? Otherwise, who could make the boss speak? Closing square bracket. Ah, I think I discovered something. Question mark, comma, question mark. Because Feng Ye spent millions directly in Yun Miao's live broadcast room, many people started to pay attention to this account. However, when everyone clicked on the account homepage to see, they found that all the other parties' information was hidden, which looked very mysterious, which directly aroused everyone's curiosity. Some fans of other anchors wanted to hook up with Feng Ye to go to their own live broadcast rooms, but every time they enthusiastically tagged Feng Ye to talk, they were always met with a cold reception. These things were seen by many people and soon spread, so everyone realized that the Feng Ye account did not follow anyone except Yun Miao. It is precisely because of Feng Ye's heroism and Yun Miao's beauty that some people have secretly started to support Yun Miao as a couple. However, after Yun Miao's identity was suddenly revealed, this support was suddenly suppressed. After all, she is the only mermaid in the galaxy, who could be worthy of her? Many people think so. However, when Maple Leaf made another move, those overwhelmed CP forces stood up again and even showed signs of rising strongly. Thank you for Feng Ye's gift, and thank you for your concern. I thought so too. Anyway, things won't get too bad. Yun Miao responded with a smile, and then Feng Ye Jinkin's words appeared again in the torrent of barrage, staying for 5 seconds before disappearing. Don't worry, I won't let anything happen to you. Yun Miao was stunned for a moment, thinking that this sentence was a little strange, but then he thought that maybe the other party was comforting him, so he didn't take it to heart. It is good. Yun Miao smiled and nodded, being extremely well behaved. The conversation between the two people was separated by thousands of comments, but one could hear an inexplicable sense of closeness. Although the young lady's smile is very healing, she is definitely smiling at Maple Leaf Boss. Woohoo, I don't stand a chance. Closing square bracket. Opportunities are earned through one's own efforts. Unfortunately, even if you work hard to get them, you still don't have a chance. Unlike me, I can get them immediately by just lying down and closing my eyes. Hold high the banner of Fengyan, I will be the first to kowtow as a sign of respect. Question mark, question mark. Yun Miao was speechless for a moment when looking at the barrage of comments. It seems that netizens are a magical existence no matter what world they are in. Chapter 97, Let's do it. Seeing that the barrage was getting more and more off track, Yun Miao quickly spoke up to pull it back. Okay, everyone, stop imagining things. Today, I'm going to start the show. Besides explaining everything to everyone, I also want to let everyone know that I'm safe. As they were talking, Yun Miao had already started to busy himself in the kitchen skillfully. As the host preparing to cook. Can I finally see the host cook again? Closing square bracket. Great, but it would be even better if the anchor could open an offline food store. Closing square bracket. Many comments were happy because they saw what Yun Miao was about to do. Even the usually taciturn Maple Leaf Boss said a few words. However, the result of this is that more people have come out to blatantly support the couple. However, compared with the huge audience base, those who supported the couple still failed to attract Yun Miao's attention. The fans didn't pay much attention to this, but turned around and quietly set up a CP super topic for the two on StarNet. The super topic is full of beautiful pictures of Yun Miao from all angles, which makes people want to lick the screen as soon as they enter. Of course, in order to show that the super topic is a CP, not long after the super topic was established, various short essays with anchor Yun Miao and the #1 Maple Leaf Boss as the protagonists turned out, and the CP fans were all shouting, "Big brother, hungry, food." Of course Yun Miao was unaware of all this. She was cooking at the moment while chatting with the audience in the live broadcast room. Occasionally she would turn on the accompaniment and sing a song or two for everyone. She was quite comfortable. Such a big event as Yun Miao's live broadcast directly exploded on the Star Network's hot search list. Many people heard that the only mermaid in the galaxy had started a live broadcast, and they rushed over regardless of whether they were free or not. For a while, the live broadcast room was temporarily stuck. This is not the fault of the main brain that cannot handle the calculations, but mainly because the hardware configuration of Moya Live is not enough to handle the computing power of the main brain. After all, no one has ever thought that one day almost everyone in the galaxy will appear on the Moya Live platform at the same time. This has never happened before. Therefore, after discovering that the live broadcast room was stuck, Moya's technicians quickly took remedial measures and urgently installed several core computing units, so that the Moya platform did not crash directly because of a host's broadcast. If that were the case, the bosses behind Moya would have anticipated that they would be laughed at by their peers for at least the next 10 years. Wang Chen perked up immediately when Yun Miao started the live broadcast of cooking, his eyes closely following her every move, as if he wanted to memorize all her steps. Although he could actually ask Yun Miao directly about how to make the food after the live broadcast, that would lack surprise. Wang Chen was busy with his work at the moment, while secretly recording all of Yun Miao's cooking movements. While he was busy, his father called. Wang Chen took a look at it and then looked at the live broadcast screen. After hesitating for a moment, he decided to answer the call. Forget it, I'd better answer the call from my dad, otherwise he will dig a hole for me later and I will have no way to complain. Wang's father contacted his son also about Yun Miao's matter. He had always felt that Yun Miao was different from ordinary girls, but he didn't expect that she would be the legendary mermaid. After the initial surprise, the king's father thought more long-term. Yun Miao's identity will definitely bring a huge amount of attention. As long as the cooperative relationship between Sui Han Enterprise and Yun Miao is announced, it will inevitably attract more traffic. By then, Sui Han Catering will surely not be far from becoming the leader. Thinking of this, Wang's father became more and more excited, and he wished he could announce the news immediately. However, he has been working in the business world for many years and still has a sense of contract. Since he has promised not to disclose their relationship before dealing with the Yun family, he will not violate the agreement. Of course, if the Yun family could be dealt with sooner, wouldn't it be possible to take advantage of this favorable situation and reach a higher position sooner? Wang's father was a smart man and immediately decided to launch a commercial attack on the Yun family. Anyway, everything has been prepared during this period, just waiting for his order to take action. Now it seems that now is the best time. So, after talking to his son, Wang's father directly called his trusted secretary and gave the order. Let's do it. It's time to let Miss Yun see our sincerity. Yes, Yun Miao didn't know that while she was broadcasting live, her appearance outside had once again sparked a heated discussion, and the Yun family, who had always made things difficult for her, was about to face a desperate situation because of the king's father's order. After broadcasting for an hour, when the dish was almost done, she was ready to end the broadcast. However, this time, the audience seemed to know that Yun Miao wanted to slip away, and they flooded the screen with gifts in an attempt to keep her. Host, please don't leave. I still want to hear you sing. Closing square bracket. I'm different. I just want to see what the little sister looks like as a mermaid. Closing square bracket. So, I want to see it too. Question mark. Yun Miao looked at the comments from the audience and felt a little embarrassed for a moment. She accidentally broadcast her mermaid form live last time, and unexpectedly everyone was thinking about it, which made Yun Miao not know how to respond. If you guys want to see it. Yun Miao wanted to find an opportunity to live broadcast in the form of a mermaid in the future, but before he could finish his words, the live broadcast interface was completely covered by various gift special effects. Maple Leaf gave the anchor a brilliant starry sky. Closing square bracket. Immediately afterwards, a golden message appeared on the interface. Question mark. You should go off the air and take a break. Yun Miao blinked and watched the comment disappear 5 seconds later before he began to express his gratitude. Thank you Fengye Xinghe, I'll log off now. As he spoke, Yun Miao waved directly towards the live camera, and then, regardless of the audience's howling pleas, he turned off the live broadcast. Audience, so, when can we see the little sister's mermaid appearance? Also, what happened to the Maple Leaf's boss? How dare he interrupt the young lady at such a critical moment? He is simply a devil. Only the CP fans were screaming and crying. The boss must have interrupted because he didn't want others to see the host's mermaid appearance. Love it. After Yun Miao finished the live broadcast, he went straight to call Feng Chengyuan and Butler Wu for dinner. When Feng Chengyuan saw Yun Miao again, his expression had returned to normal, and there was no sign that he was in a bad mood because of Counselor Gao's communication. During the meal, Feng Chengyuan took the initiative to talk to Yun Miao about his mental soothing. Before, he was not in a hurry because he wanted to give Yun Miao some time to rest. However, Feng Chengyuan now felt that it might be better to solve the problem of the sequelae of the mental riot as soon as possible. Upon hearing this, Yun Miao immediately said that he was available at any time, but before that, Yun Miao still explained his situation clearly. Her current mental power level is not high, so it is impossible to solve Feng Chengyuan's mental power problem in one go, especially since Feng Chengyuan's mental power had rioted before and his spiritual sea was severely damaged. To recover, he needs to be comforted again and again, which will take a long time. Feng Chengyuan expressed his understanding. Yun Miao felt relieved when he knew Feng Chengyuan didn't mind. In the next few days, Feng Chengyuan put down his work and began to relax and take a real rest. Yun Miao, in accordance with the agreement, used her mermaid talent to calm Feng Chengyuan's still slightly restless mental power. Everything was peaceful here, but the Yun family was in trouble. Chapter 98. The Little Mermaid is not really stupid. Yun Songcheng has trained some useful subordinates over the years, so he has had a lot less time at work. However, in recent days, his subordinates reported that the performance of Yun's catering has declined too seriously, not only for the chain stores on the capital star, but also for those on other planets. Upon hearing the news, Yun Songcheng's face darkened and he asked what was going on. His subordinates did not dare to hide anything and directly stated their guesses. Yun's catering may have been attacked by someone. When Yun Songcheng heard the news, he was so angry that he threw the cup in his hand and angrily demanded who had the courage to do so. However, his subordinates failed to give him the answer he wanted. A bunch of trash. Yun Songcheng was so angry that he cursed loudly, but his men couldn't even refute him. Finally, when Yun Songcheng ordered that the matter must be investigated as soon as possible, his subordinates responded meekly and quickly hung up the phone. Yun Songcheng was so angry that he lost his temper in the study. This incident alarmed Yu Qingru. After asking about the reason, Yu Qingru was also very angry. However, seeing that Yun Songcheng was angry, Yu Qingru could only suppress her anger and started to comfort Yun Songcheng. No matter who it is, if they dare to make trouble behind our backs, they must be prepared to be suppressed by us. No matter who they are, they will not get away with it. Don't worry, we will find them out. Seeing that Yun Songcheng was calmer, Yu Qingru continued, when are you going to deal with Yun Miao's matter? Yun Songcheng was enjoying Yu Qingru's shoulder massage. Hearing this, he paused for a moment and said, it's better to do it as soon as possible to avoid any more trouble. But before that, we still have to let her meet Master Li. Only when Howard's problem is solved can we feel relieved, right? Yu Qingru heard the satisfied tone and joked, do you want to do another paternity test? After all, the original test was just done by someone random. It's normal for you to suspect that she's not your biological daughter. If the original test result is true, would you be willing to let your biological daughter die? Yun Songcheng hesitated for a moment after hearing this. Before Yu Qingru could feel dissatisfied, he said, HMPH, don't do it anymore. So what if it is? There is no point in keeping a disobedient daughter. It is better to make the final contribution to the Yun family. That's true. Yu Qingru agreed, but a smile gradually appeared in her eyes. At the door of the room, Yun Bei, who was originally preparing to come over to find her parents, happened to hear what her parents said. She immediately turned around and went back to her room in a good mood. Ha ha ha, that's great. Soon Yun Miao, that ungrateful bastard, will be in trouble. Yun Bei rolled around on the bed twice, feeling very good, but soon she sat up again with a thoughtful look on her face. No, I can't let her get away with it like this. Before that, I have to settle all my previous accounts with her. Mumbling to herself, Yun Bei then turned on her computer and called her best friend Annie, and began to discuss things with her. Yun Miao has been helping Feng Chengyuan to calm his spirit these past few days. His spiritual sea was severely damaged and it would take a long time for him to recover to the state of normal use of mental power. Feng Chengyuan was not too demanding about this and was even a little surprised. After all, the current level of technology could not completely repair the damaged spiritual sea, but Yun Miao could do it. How could this not be surprising? Especially after Yun Miao helped to calm him down several times, Feng Chengyuan clearly felt the changes in his body. The head that used to ache frequently for no reason has not been like that for a long time. Even the legs that had no feeling for a long time have finally regained most of their feeling after their spiritual sea has recovered a little. However, it will take some time for them to stand up completely. Feng Chengyuan's mood has become very good these days. Even his usually indifferent and serious face has a rare smile. Moreover, there have been subtle changes in his attitude towards Yun Miao. The most obvious thing is that he takes the initiative to talk to Yun Miao more often and also cares about some of Yun Miao's situations. The more time the two spent together, the more Feng Chengyuan understood Yun Miao. I used to think that Yun Miao was a weak punching bag. After all, she didn't know how to resist when she was wronged, which really made people feel disappointed. But after getting to know her, I found that Yun Miao was not like that. She was just lazy and didn't want to care about those things. Feng Chengyuan felt an inexplicable sense of detachment from her, as if there was something separating her from the world. Perhaps this was why she was too lazy to care about those things. But she didn't really care about nothing, because Feng Chengyuan already knew that Yun Miao was going to deal with the Yun family. After all, Yun Miao is by his side now. No matter what she wants to do, no matter how hard she tries to hide it, it will not escape his eyes. Feng Chengyuan felt inexplicably relieved about this. It seems that this little mermaid is not really hopelessly stupid. Feng Chengyuan had no intention of interfering with Yun Miao's plan to deal with the Yun family. He just wanted her to train her character. He had already made up his mind that when Yun Miao encountered trouble that she couldn't solve, it would not be too late for him to take action. During this period, Feng Chengyuan has been doing recovery exercises. After all, he hasn't stood up and walked on his own for a year. Although his leg muscles are still tight and there is no sign of atrophy, he still needs to train well to recover faster. Just when Feng Chengyuan was doing recovery training, the Feng family, who had no news from him for a week, suddenly contacted Feng Chengyuan. Ever since the last Zerg appeared on the cruise ship, causing huge damage and losses, the Feng family has been under investigation. Old man Feng was so angry that he fell ill. Both Feng Zhen and Feng Qing were a little overwhelmed. When they learned that Feng Chengyuan fell into the sea, they had no time to care about his life or death. Now that he knew Feng Chengyuan was still alive, he called Feng Chengyuan and asked him to return to the Feng family's old house. Feng Chengyuan had no objection to this. After all, he knew that the Feng family was in big trouble this time. They probably came to him to solve this matter, but what did this have to do with him? The reason why Feng Chengyuan agreed to go back was just because he wanted an answer. This time when he went back, Feng Chengyuan did not bring Yun Miao with him. After all, the Feng family was not a friendly place, and a bigger conflict might break out if he went back this time. Therefore, after discussing with Yun Miao, Feng Chengyuan let Yun Miao stay at home alone. Yun Miao didn't have any objection to this, but when he thought about Feng Chengyuan leaving, Yun Miao was still worried that his safety was no longer guaranteed. How could Feng Chengyuan not think of this? He had already arranged everything when he decided to go back. Therefore, when Yun Miao went downstairs the next morning, rubbing her sleepy eyes, she saw two tall and straight young men with righteous faces standing on Feng Chengyuan's left and right, waiting for her arrival. Chapter 99 Invitation from a Music Company. Hello, madam. I am Lei Kai, the adjutant of the admiral. I will be in charge of protecting madam's safety from now on. Seeing Yun Miao appear, one of the young men immediately stood up, gave Yun Miao a standard military salute, and spoke loudly. The other young man rolled his eyes at the young man who was speaking and muttered quietly, "You stupid fool, you only know how to show off." Having said that, he still followed Lei Kai, saluted, and briefly introduced himself. "Hello, ma'am, I'm Qi Mingyu." Yun Miao nodded in surprise, but his eyes quickly fell on Feng Chengyuan, as if asking what was going on. Feng Chengyuan directly told Yun Miao his decision and let her know that even if he was not by her side, he would still arrange people to protect her. Yun Miao was naturally grateful for this and gladly accepted Feng Chengyuan's arrangement. She felt that she would not leave the admiral's mansion unless it was necessary, so having their protection was enough. Feng Chengyuan obviously thought so too. After reminding Lei Kai and Qi Mingyu of some precautions, Feng Chengyuan left with butler Wu. After Feng Chengyuan left, Lei Kai and Qi Mingyu stayed. Yun Miao didn't really care about the 2 extra people around him, he just continued doing what he was doing. Lei Kai and Qi Mingyu were secretly looking at Yun Miao. I didn't expect the admiral's wife to be a mermaid. And she's really beautiful, worthy of being the legendary mermaid. Lei Qi's gaze fell on Yun Miao unnoticeably, fearing that his stare at Yun Miao too blatantly would make Yun Miao feel uncomfortable, but after looking at him, he still couldn't help but whispered to Qi Mingyu. Look at you, it's like you've never seen the world. Qi Mingyu looked at Lei Qi's eyes shining with surprise, resisted the urge to cover his face, and muttered softly. Lei Kai said seriously, I have seen the world, but I have never seen a mermaid. Then, he winked at Qi Mingyu and said, aren't you surprised? Qi Mingyu snorted, rolled his eyes at Lei Kai, turned his head away without saying anything. However, when no one noticed, he still secretly glanced at Yun Miao a few more times. Seeing the legendary mermaid up close for the first time, how could I not be excited? However, no matter how excited I am, I can't let this dead wood see it, otherwise I don't know how long he will be laughed at. Yun Miao was able to keenly sense that someone was paying attention to him. It should be the 2 adjutants left by Feng Chengyuan who were watching him. Yun Miao didn't care much about it at first, but after a long time he still felt a little uncomfortable. In order to avoid awkward interactions, Yun Miao simply went back to the bedroom upstairs and prepared to stay in the room for the rest of the time. However, before going upstairs, Yun Miao left some snacks that he had made for the 2 of them, just to help them pass the time. Watching Yun Miao go upstairs, Lei Kai and Qi Mingyu couldn't help feeling a sense of loss, but when they looked at the snacks left by Yun Miao, they felt emotional again. The admiral's wife is such a gentle person. The admiral is also a hero in the hearts of countless people. If people outside knew about the relationship between the 2, I'm afraid everyone would not know whether to envy the admiral or the admiral's wife, right? Yun Miao returned to the room, turned on the light computer to browse the Star Network for a while, and then opened the Moya Live to check the background of his live broadcast. Because there are restrictions on private messages, the number of private messages Yun Miao receives is not that scary, but compared to general situations, the number is still considerable. Yun Miao took a look at the number, hesitated for a moment, and turned on the system filtering function, filtering out the private messages from some fans praising her, and then eliminating some irrelevant messages. Yun Miao then slowly looked through the remaining messages. One of them turned out to be a private message from the director of a music company, whose sole purpose was to help Yun Miao release the songs she had sung, even if they did not make a profit. Yun Miao sighed, is there such a good thing? After hesitating for a moment, Yun Miao contacted the other party directly through the contact number left in the private message. After some conversation, Yun Miao learned the specific situation. The main reason is that it is not easy to get into the entertainment industry nowadays. The entertainment circle is in a state of polarization. There are only a few good singers and good songs, and they are treated like treasures by major entertainment companies. It is natural that they can stand out in front of people, but the rest can only walk on the edge of food and clothing. Those who can't hold on will directly withdraw and change careers, while those who persist will never see the day of success. Jame Music is one of the countless music companies that is slightly better off than those that are barely making ends meet. After they discovered Yun Miao's songs, they chose to contact Yun Miao immediately. They did not ask Yun Miao to sign a contract with Jame to become a singer of the company, but only asked Yun Miao to agree to give the songs to Jame for release. Yun Miao took a look at the contract sent by the other party. There was no place to cheat him. As long as he agreed to it, he would get a lot of benefits. However, Yun Miao was not in a hurry. After hanging up the call, he temporarily put the matter aside and turned to read other private messages. Soon, Yun Miao found invitations from several other music companies among the remaining private messages. However, after reading through them, Yun Miao frowned slightly, because those messages were all inviting Yun Miao to sign a contract to become their singer. Even though they attached the contract directly to show their sincerity, the vague content still allowed Yun Miao to see some subtle pitfalls. Yun Miao doesn't want to be a singer of a music company because that would mean losing a lot of freedom. But in contrast, Jame music seems fresh and unconventional. After weighing the pros and cons, Yun Miao decided to agree to Jame music. After signing the contract sent to Jame, Yun Miao directly sent the contract back to the other party's computer. However, a moment later, Yun Miao received another call from the other party. After the call was connected, Yun Miao witnessed the other party's emotions change from excitement to tears and then to tears of gratitude. He didn't know how to comfort him and could only smile awkwardly. Not really, really not. Yun Miao really wanted to say this, but seeing the other party's reaction, he didn't say anything in the end. After promising the other party that they would re-record the song and send it over as soon as possible, and the other party also promised to produce an album as soon as possible, the two hung up the phone with satisfaction. After solving the problem, Yun Miao felt much better. When he was about to browse the Star network for a while, a strange number suddenly came and requested to be connected, which caught Yun Miao off guard. Unrecognizable number. Who is it? Yun Miao answered the call, but when he saw who was projected on the other side, his good mood instantly disappeared. Yun Bei, why is it you? Chapter 100 Conditions. What do you want from me? Yun Miao did not turn off the communication immediately, but asked casually, without even looking at Yun Bei while speaking. Yun Bei was so angry at Yun Miao's disregard that she started to mock him with cold words. How can you talk to me like that? Do you really think you are the wife of an admiral? Are you worthy of that? Don't you think you are worth anything? Feng Chengyuan is just treating you as a plaything. I'm telling you, Yun Miao, it's impossible for someone like you to stay with him for long. I'll see what happens to you in the future. Is that all you want to say? Haha, you're so idle. I don't have time to play with you. After saying that, he hung up the phone without caring how angry the person on the other end was. Just moments after hanging up the phone, Yun Bei called again. Yun Miao knew without thinking that it was Yun Bei's call. She deliberately waited for a while before answering the call, wanting to see Yun Bei's frustrated look, which would definitely feel very satisfying. Sure enough, Yun Bei was furious, but surprisingly did not continue to attack. When she spoke, she still had a condescending attitude. Come out, I'll be waiting for you at Qingcheng restaurant. Yun Bei spoke to Yun Miao in a commanding tone. Yun Miao looked at her as if she were a fool. Who do you think you are? Can you tell me to leave? Yun Miao sneered. Yun Bei's eyes suddenly widened with anger and her expression became ferocious. You dare! Before he could finish his words, the call was disconnected. The next second, the call rang again, but this time Yun Miao did not pick it up. Instead, he hung up without thinking. However, the other party did not give up and called again and again, but Yun Miao hung up again and again, until it rang more than 10 times and finally stopped. When Yun Miao thought of Yun Bei's distorted expression of anger that he saw at the end, he laughed so hard that he fell down. He guessed that Yun Bei must be so angry that she wanted to punch the wall at this moment. It was just as Yun Miao guessed. All the calls that Yun Bei made to Yun Miao were rejected, which made her instantly furious. She vented her anger in the room for a long time before she finally calmed down. Do you think you'll be alright like this? Haha, I'll always find a way to deal with you. Yun Bei muttered to herself with a ferocious look on her face, which frightened the maid who entered the room to deliver fruit so much that she dared not look up, for fear that she would accidentally bring the anger of this delicate young lady to herself. After a while, Yun Bei went directly to find Yun Songcheng, and in the name of caring for her brother, she urged Yun Songcheng to let Yun Miao fulfill his promise. Yun Songcheng was very satisfied with Yun Bei's understanding. Thinking that the time was almost up, he called Yun Miao directly under Yun Bei's encouragement. On the other hand, Yun Miao thought that no one would come looking for him today, but he didn't expect that Yun Songcheng would call him again before he could calm down for a while. Yun Miao was extremely annoyed, but after a moment's hesitation he still answered the call. As we agreed before, as long as you agree to meet someone, I will agree to your request. You have to go to a place now. Yun Songcheng told Yun Miao his request directly without any hesitation. After he finished speaking, Yun Miao just responded faintly and hung up the phone. She did not refuse Yun Songcheng's request. After all, it was just to meet one person, and then she could completely sever ties with the Yun family. There was no problem. It is better to go early than late. Yun Miao didn't want to waste time, so he simply packed up and went downstairs. Lady, seeing Yun Miao coming downstairs, the two people who were sitting on the sofa in the living room downstairs immediately stood up. Yun Miao said directly, I have to go out for something, I may have to trouble you to come with me. She felt it would be safer to bring along the person Feng Chengyuan had assigned to her. The two men immediately straightened their bodies, clenched their right fists and placed them in front of their chests, gave a standard military salute, and replied in a sonorous and powerful voice, It is our honor to protect the lady. Yun Miao smiled and nodded, said, Thank you, and walked straight out. The three of them got on the hovercraft. Yun Miao sat in the back seat, Lei Kai and Qi Mingyu sat in the front. After asking Yun Miao where he wanted to go, they drove the hovercraft directly towards the Capital Star First Hospital. The person Yun Songcheng wanted Yun Miao to meet was Li Jin, Master Li. Last time, Yun Songcheng specifically found Li Jin for his son's matter, hoping that he could help his son debug and modify the participating mecha. Li Jin was reluctant at first, but after Yun Songcheng promised him a generous reward and learned about the relationship between Yun Songcheng and Yun Miao, he reluctantly agreed. The only request was that he hoped to meet Yun Miao in person. Yun Songcheng naturally didn't mind, which is why this incident happened. Yun Miao knew that it was just a simple request, so he agreed to it directly. The hovercraft landed in the parking lot of the first hospital, and then the three of them entered the hospital together and went straight to the special ward floor. Naturally, he was stopped outside, but after Yun Miao asked the nurse, he was quickly let in. When Yun Miao knew that she was going to meet Master Li Jin, she was a little uncertain, because she thought of the first huge reward she received, which was from an ID called Li Jin. She wondered if it was the same person. With doubts in his heart, Yun Miao met Master Li, but this Master Li seemed a little different from the cold and serious Master Li on the internet. The man in front of me, smiling like a neighbor uncle, holding a fruit plate and feeding a little girl attentively, is he really the master? Yun Miao was full of doubts, but still politely introduced himself and the purpose of his visit. I heard you wanted to see me. Yun Miao thought for a moment, then continued, Excuse me, are you the one who gave me a huge reward in my livestream? Li Jin put down the fruit plate in his hand somewhat stiffly. In front of outsiders, he was still quite serious. However, when he heard Yun Miao's question, his expression was blank for a moment, as if he was recalling something. Reward. Have I ever given a reward? Oh, it seems like that's the case. The main reason is that I don't have much money and I can't remember what I've spent. Li Jin finally remembered this matter and nodded casually with an extremely cold attitude. Yun Miao remembered that Li Jin left a message when he gave the reward, so his eyes fell on the little girl sitting on the bed behind Li Jin. Presumably, that was her daughter, right? Seeing Li Man looking at him timidly yet hopefully, Yun Miao took the initiative to wave at her. Hello. As soon as he finished speaking, Yun Miao heard a scream. Ah, yes, it's the anchor. I finally see the live anchor lady. An extremely excited scream came from the side door. Everyone looked in the direction of the sound and saw a pretty girl with short hair holding her face with both hands, her eyes shining with excitement. Yun Miao. Thank you, I have always lived well. Thank you for watching. Continue exploring the fascinating world of Chinese novels with us. Hit that subscribe button on Chinese Novel Audiobook to stay updated with our latest stories. And never miss out on a great listen.